Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the first Saturday stream of the season. It feels good to be back. I feel very happy doing a Saturday stream. Did I wake up exactly when I wanted to today? No. Did I wake up with enough time? Probably not, but we are here and we are ready to make some moves. No, I didn't sell Palmer last night before he fell in price because I hoped that he wouldn't, and the speed at which he was getting sold just sped up and sped up. And unfortunately, Palmer did fall in price. Watkins fell in price as well, which is, I mean, quite something. So, yeah, not an ideal situation in all honesty. But what can you do? Who's emailing me at this time? Don't know. I've benched Verts for Wood. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Chris Wood's a captaincy shout. I have no issue with benching. I have absolutely no issue with benching Florian Verts at all. I'm hungover as hell. That's the best way to be for a Saturday deadline stream, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. It's 4 a.m. here, Ross. No sympathy. At least you were awake for the price changes. I was fast asleep. Cruzy says, good morning, Ross. Game week 1, I did Frimpong to 8 Nuri. Now I have 1 free transfer. Issues in my team are Palmer and Bowen. Thinking Palmer to Kuda/Semenyo. Already have Sar. Then sort out Bowen next week. Will free funds for Giyu to Wood in game week 5. Yeah, I like that plan. Sounds good, Cruzy. I mean, obviously, you could just take a -4 if you want to just sort them both out this week. I wouldn't hate that. But yeah, I think Kudus and Semenyo in your position. Like, people will be asking all stream, I'm a straw. People will be asking all stream, I'm sure, who they should replace Palmer with. But I think Kudus, Semenyo, Sar look really good, the three of them. Don't get me wrong. Alanga, Barnes, Brennan Johnson, one of the Manchester United players. Like, there are tons. Reinders, Anderson. Like, you've got a lot of options. Speaking of, let's go through what I'm looking at. So, I didn't make any moves last night. Probably should have. Palmer fell in price. I mean, it is only 0.1 million, but you do just worry that over time, if I keep saying it's just 0.1 million, then that's going to eventually become quite a lot. So yeah, I've not made any moves yet. Thoughts on Livramento and Ola Aina as wildcard picks? Livramento I like. Ola Aina less keen, but I can understand it. He's been pretty good so far this season. Nanaraptor in the deadline stream says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Nanaraptor. Good to see you here. I think my Nan, do you prefer the Saturday streams or the Friday streams? I prefer the Saturday streams. If anyone's wondering, that is actually my Nan, which is pretty cool. Ross got Ruta, Strand Larson, Palmer, 8 Nuri. Should I free hit? Well, 8 Nuri will be fine. But the other 3 are issues. I would probably just keep Strand Larson and sell Ruta and Palmer. So Ruta and Palmer out for 2 mids of your choosing. And then I probably wouldn't free hit. But if the rest of your team also looks weak, then maybe it. Maybe you just do free hit. Retro Joe's 96 has transferred out Palmer for Alanga. Okay, good fixtures for Newcastle. Alanga look good against Liverpool. Already had Kudus and midfielders looking good. I've been looking at Barnes and Alanga myself. I really like them. I think definitely the Newcastle mids are being overlooked. Frosty said, I'm locked in on a Haaland Salah wildcard. Fair enough. Debating Konsa versus Cash, Dorgu versus Yoro. Won't go Yoro. I don't think Yoro's minutes are safer, necessarily. Maybe they are. I guess there's not a ton of options we have in that Yoro spot. Yeah, maybe go Yoro. He's not bad in the air from set pieces. I don't hate it. They both feel a bit stinky. Konsa and Cash and Dorgu and Yoro will feel a bit rubbish. I would be very tempted to risk it on Dorgu. But yeah, Yoro's fine. It's a shame you can't get the Ligt, because the Ligt looks like an absolute monster at the moment. Defcon, good in the air. Yeah, maybe Yoro and Konsa, just be safer for mins. I'll go through my plans in a minute, by the way. I'll just answer a few of your questions and then I'll crack on. By the way, if you are here nice and early, thank you so much firstly. Can you please drop a like on the stream just to spread it out to more people? I massively appreciate that. Not even 100 likes yet. God, you guys are slacking today. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. OP Talent says, play either Bruggen or Dubravka. Dubravka. Captain Haaland or Bruno? Haaland. I'd captain Haaland and I'd play Dubravka. That tells you everything you need to know about Manchester United at the moment, doesn't it? Timbo Slices, good morning. By the way, Frosty, thank you for the super chat. I didn't even say that. Timbo Slices, good morning, Mr. Egg. I kind of just want to get bench boost out of the way. Would you bench boost Dubravka, Reinders, Munoz, Estev? Dubravka, Reinders, Munoz, Estev. That's borderline. I don't actually hate that. If you want to just get out of the way, that's actually not a bad bench boost. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not fantastic. I wouldn't expect more than about 12 to 15, but you could get lucky. All you need is Munoz to go big or a Reinders goal and it'll look good. Thoughts on Grealish as a punt? Yeah, I don't mind Grealish as a punt, actually. Grealish could do really well. No issue with that myself. Good morning to everyone saying good morning. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Kieran. Sorry I can't say good morning to everyone, but I appreciate you being here. Would you play either Dewsbury Hall, Van der Ven over Gakpo Ekatike? No, I'll just play Gakpo and Ekatike, probably. FPL Pickle is extremely aggressively stirring a cup of coffee or tea. It's quite something. If she can hear me, she'll be finding that funny. Liz says, good morning, Liz. Have Palmer, Saka and Fulkrug to sort out a bench Saka and focus on Palmer and Fulkrug this week, or take a hit and deal with all three now. I would actually say bench Palmer and get rid of Saka and Fulkrug. Saka's injury sounds a little bit worse than Palmer's. I think there's a good chance they're both back after the international break, but Saka seems a little bit worse, and also Saka's fixtures are worse. So I think if you're going to sell two of them, I would probably sell Saka and Fulkrug. And then I'd bench Palmer. You could take a hit, like you say, and just get rid of all three, but you probably don't need to. Depends on the rest of your team. It's a season to go against the flow. The premiums just ain't cutting it. You're not wrong, Claudette. You're not wrong at all. I've got loads of expensive players that don't seem to be wanting to actually do the points. Anindia? Sorry, I've absolutely destroyed your name there. Hey, Egg, please rate my wildcard draft. Okay. Vicario, Livramento, Milenkovic, Calafiori. Little bit sus on Calafiori given the fixtures and given that Lewis Skelly can play, but that's fine. Kudus, Sarr, Johnson, Salah, Wood, Gyökeres, João Pedro, Dubravka, Gakpo, Senesi, Ekdal. Yeah, I really like that. Is there anything I don't like? I don't mind the front three. Actually, Wood, Gyökeres and João Pedro looks good. I like Sarr, Kudus. I'm not sure about Kudus and Johnson. A little bit overkill. Maybe, potentially. I also think Vicario's good, but I much prefer Porro if you can try and squeeze that in. Like, rather than Vicario and Calafiori, I'd maybe prefer like Porro and Sanchez or something like that. But yeah, it's a really, really good team. Who would you captain? Yeah, captaincy is quite tough, isn't it, there? Probably Wood or João Pedro. Wood or João Pedro in that team. I mean, Pickle, what on earth are you doing in there? Dear Lord. She's smashing ice. She's stirring drinks. I've never... It's like a one-man band in there.
I'm trying to make a matcha. Sorry.
You're in a different room with doors. You're making a matcha. I hope it's lovely for you.
Thanks. Hi, guys. Morning. Everyone's beefing me this morning. Can't be bothered. Love you all. Bye.
She's in the kitchen making herself a tea. But you know when you have a bag of ice in the fridge that's stuck together? She was obviously trying to break the ice, but I can just hear her smashing ice, stirring a drink. Adrian says bench one of Wirtz, Rogers or Reinders. I'd probably bench Florian Wirtz there in all honesty. Play the fixtures. We can hear the teaspoon. I know, it was very aggressive, wasn't it? Very aggressive. Semenyo and Mateta or Wood and Johnson? Ooh, I'm a bit of a Mateta lover, so I might go... Do you know what? Let's move on to my transfers. It might help people. So I'll put this on your screen right now. These are the transfers that I'm currently thinking about. There are other combinations that I could do. I do very much feel like I would like a Crystal Palace player. And the reason that I say that is I'm on free hit 6, right? So if I actually now quickly hide this, get this. If I'm on free hit 6, this week I don't mind the Villa fixture, not great. But then it's Sunderland, West Ham. I would then free hit my Palace players out for game week 6. And then they come back to Everton, Bournemouth. Arsenal's not great, but then Brentford, Brighton, Wolves United, Burnley. Like, even if I don't wildcard in 13, which is the plan, it's a great fixture run if you remove that Liverpool game. So considering I'm on free hit 6, and I actually do really rate Crystal Palace, I do think a Palace attacker makes sense. But I am also wary that, as of right now, I have Richards. If I go and get Sarr and Mateta, not only is that not a great fixture this week, But I'm also a bit cautious of that then does either mean I have to sell Richards to get Munoz, or I can't get Munoz. And it might be that I decide not to get Munoz, or like I say, it might be that I decide actually I will sell Richards. But I think ideally for me, selling Juve or Esteve to get to Munoz probably makes more sense. Or potentially even Nico Williams. I don't think I necessarily want to sell Richards unless he were to pick up an injury of some kind. So basically, I don't think I want to get Sarr and Mateta, which leaves me one of these combinations. If I go Mateta, therefore, I need to look at an alternative to Sarr. So at the moment, I'm looking at potentially Mohamed Kudus. Now, I don't think Kudus comes without his issues. He's not shown much goal threat. We obviously know that Xavi Simons has signed. Might that affect him in a negative way? Xavi Simons has great set-piece delivery, so he could even take set-pieces on both sides. I just feel like when I've watched Spurs, Kudus feels like a very important player to Thomas Frank. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kudus' minutes are still really secure. And what I like about Kudus, if we just look at like Porro's fixtures as an example, is I can play Kudus every single week. So Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, I'd free hit in 6 anyway, but then Leeds, Aston Villa, Everton, all the way to about 10, I'd be happy playing Kudus every single game. So he feels like a really good sort of perma-pick, perma-play kind of player. So yeah, that's the first option is Kudus and Mateta. I actually don't know what Pickle's doing. It's crazy. She's just stirring that drink again. So off-putting. Then the next couple of options is where I go for Sarr rather than Mateta. So if I don't go for Mateta, I can go for Sarr, but then that obviously opens up one of João Pedro or Wood. So option 2 is Sarr and João Pedro, and then option 3 is Sarr and Wood. If I was picking, like, let's say that ownership wasn't a thing, I couldn't see anyone else's teams, I was just playing to try and get the most points possible, I genuinely think it's a very, very equal split between the three, but I probably would marginally lean towards Sarr and João Pedro or Sarr and Chris Wood. But, and here's the big but, here's the big but, we're not playing like that. We are playing to try and have fun with the game. Ownership, as much as I'd like to try and mostly ignore it at the start of the season, it does exist. So yeah, there it is. I will say there is an option 4, as Frosty's just mentioned. And option 4 is that rather than go for Kudus, I go for Anderson. So the option would be Mateta and Anderson rather than Mateta and Kudus. The reason Mateta and Anderson is very interesting, if I now get rid of this, and don't worry, I will go back to answering your questions in a second. It's worth me just at least explaining where my head's at. If I go, yeah, in here, let's go for Anderson. And in here, let's go for Mateta. What that leaves me then is 3.3 in the bank, which means that next week for Guiu, I could get João Pedro. Now, I think what I would probably do if I went for this combo is I wouldn't do the Mateta move this week. I would probably just do the João Pedro in for Guiu move. So I would leave myself Fulkrug as a first sub if he needs to come on, and I could go and do the Mateta move next week, because obviously João Pedro's fixture this week is slightly better. I am still very, very tempted to go for this combination. But what that does mean is it does pretty much lock me into a transfer next week. Because obviously I'm not going to want to play Anderson against Arsenal. So it forces me to essentially go out there and get someone for Fulkrug. The concern I have is, let's say I decide I don't want Mateta at that stage. I don't want to go and buy Chris Wood before Arsenal. There aren't actually that many options. It's really just João Pedro, Mateta or Chris Wood. Also, it feels a little passive. I mean, these fixtures are great for Anderson and João Pedro, though. So like you can see, I do have quite a few options open to me. I just need to try and hone in on it. I think at the moment, if you were to force me to make a move, I'd probably go for option 1. Just because I like being a bit different, and I love Jean-Philippe Mateta. And I like the way that my team looks if I go for Mateta and Kudus every single week. I just think with Anderson, he's got Arsenal this week in 4, and then in 6, I would free hit anyway. So really, he's got West Ham, Arsenal, Burnley, Newcastle. Two really tricky fixtures in the next 4. I don't know. I'll make a decision for sure. But yeah, at the moment, Kudus and Mateta looks very possible. Don't understand why people aren't putting in Gay. You say that it'd be a starter if he moves to Liverpool, but you don't know that fully. So I think that's why. And you don't know if he'd go straight into the 11. Florian Wirtz, Rogers, or Reinders? Oh, I did that one, didn't I? I said, yeah, bench Florian Wirtz. Hey, Ross, would you do Bowen to João Pedro for a -4? Depends who you have coming off the bench if you were to... Yeah, I would probably do it. Bowen to João Pedro for a -4 sounds about right. Izzy Gaming says, good morning, my stunning scallop. Hello. So I wildcarded with bench boost 4 in mind. Here's the team. Sanchez, Porro, Munoz, Van der Ven, Salah, Gakpo, Elanga, Kudus, Pedro, Ekatike, Gyökeres, Petrovic, Senesi, Caicedo, Anderson. Trying to think who everyone has. Yeah, that looks like a good bench boost. Is there any ideas? You do maybe look slightly light in terms of Palace. Like Palace have Sunderland in 4. Depends when you're looking to free hit, I suppose. That was my only initial thought when I glanced at this, is I think you've only got one Palace player there. So I would maybe be interested in another Palace player, whether that be a Sarr or a Mateta. But otherwise, it's a really nice teammate. Bob says, could you briefly discuss Kudus versus Johnson versus Barnes versus Elanga? I'm looking at all 4 of those. I think Kudus' minutes of the 4 will be the best. Johnson feels like he's got a very high upside. Barnes and Elanga, I think if they were to play the same amount of minutes, I think Harvey Barnes is a better asset than Elanga. But I do think that Elanga's minutes will be slightly safer. So I would probably say Kudus, Elanga, Johnson, Barnes. But I think all 4 of them are fantastic. And Kudus is really a minutes play. Again, if you told me all 4 of them got the same amount of minutes, Kudus might even be the worst of the 4. But I just feel like from what I've seen so far, his minutes feel a little bit more secure than some of the others. Ty says, Pedro versus Mateta. Have Watkins, Wood, did Palmer, Sarr. Well, it depends if you want double Palace attack. It depends what your other moves are. I mean, in isolation this week, Pedro is a better pick. Across the next 6 weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if Mateta does outscore João Pedro. I think it'll be pretty close, though. Kesh says, I already have Bruno. Should I bring in Mbeumo or Cunha? If you're going to bring in one of them, I still marginally prefer Cunha, but it's very close. Like, Mbeumo is the sort of player that does very well in fixtures like this, but I would go Mateus Cunha. Jake Gardner says, bench Florian Wirtz or Reinders. Don't say neither. I'd bench Florian Wirtz and I'd start Reinders. Kieran says, good morning, Ross and Pickle. Got some bench decisions. Need to start one of Wirtz or Dewsbury Hall. That's tough. I think in that case, I'd start Florian Wirtz. Also need to start one of Juve, Anderson and Estev. Have a great day. Thank you very much. Ooh, Juve, Anderson or Estev. Oh, that is tough, isn't it? I'd be very tempted by Anderson. He's just so good for defensive contributions. I'd probably go Anderson, honestly. I think all 3 of them concede, so really you're just looking at defcon versus attacking threat. Khan says, transferred Palmer, Guiu to Semenyo Wood. Fantastic transfers. Who should I bench? Need 3 defenders and 4 mids. Porro, Nico, Konsa, Juve, Estev, Wirtz, Salah, Anderson, Reinders. Ooh. So you need 3 defenders to start. So I'd bench Juve and Estev, and I would bench Wirtz. Juve, Estev and Wirtz from those com. Master says, Elanga or Barnes in for Palmer? I think if it was on a free hit, I would go Barnes. I think if it was a transfer, I would go Elanga. That's the way that I'll word it. Yeah, my team value is absolutely bleeding. For those saying it, you're not alone, for sure. By the way, guys, we're only 250 subscribers away from 167,000. I know most of you probably do subscribe because you're absolute legends, but if you're not subscribed, please do consider doing so. I'd really appreciate it. Sam says, take a hit, Wirtz to Elanga or Gibbs White. Don't take a hit. I would probably just keep Wirtz. I don't think he's great this week, but he's great for game week 4, and I just don't know that that's worth a transfer. Start Tarkowski or Wirtz. I'd start Tarkowski, believe it or not. Palmer's price actually dropped last night. I know. Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Oh, my throat's gurgling. Palmer to Sarr and Guiu to Wood, says Hayden. Means, who do I bench out of Sarr or Anderson? Captain out of Bruno, Wood, Salah. I think Bruno, Wood, Salah in that order for captaincy. Yeah, I don't mind those moves. I think if you're going to bench one of the 2, I would probably bench Anderson. But in that case, then I'm like, do you need to do the Guiu to Wood move? Can you not just start Anderson and leave Guiu? Like, I know a lot of people want to bring in Chris Wood, and that makes absolute sense, especially if you want to captain him. But I'm seeing some people having to bench like a Reinders or an Anderson just to get Wood in. And then at that stage, I'm like, I don't know that I'd make the move. Martin says, hi Ross, happy with my team, so no questions, but very much good luck for you and everyone else this game week. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Bench Verts, Njai, Anderson, or Reinders? Probably Florian Verts. Liam Jones says, I've taken Crystal Palace, CP. Oh, Cole Palmer. I was like, Crystal Palace. Taking Cole Palmer out for Dango Watara, 5 million left. -4 for Krupi Jr. to Mateta/Wood, or play Minte as the fifth mid with Watkins Ekatike up top. I would take the -4 in all honesty, Liam, and I'd go out there and get a Mateta or a Wood. Up to you which one you go for. But yeah, it would sort your structure out a lot as well. Ross, how much do you value a home fixture? I value it significantly less than a lot of other people because I think the football is very unpredictable. But I would probably say like a 5 to 10% increase on average in terms of what you would expect. But some teams are different. Like Forest at the City Ground are brilliant. Some teams are better away. Like last season, Crystal Palace were really good away from home. So I think you need to take it on a case-by-case. Case-by-case. What was the last word I was looking for there? Don't know. Take it case by case. Best combo on free hit: Porro Barnes or Kudus Livramento. Porro Barnes. I like Porro Barnes. Feels a little bit higher upside. That's a close one though. Pope and Lacroix or Sells and Livramento. Is this on a wild card or a free hit? I think if it was a wild card, I quite like Lacroix and Pope. But I think if it was on a free hit, I think Sells and Livramento seems pretty strong. RD, same initials as me, says wildcarded 9 mil. And I thought he was looking for a 9 mil play, a 9 mil rank. I'm not far off. And help needed. Sells, Livramento, Van der Ven, Rich. Who's Rich? Can't be Richarlison because of where you've put them in the team. Oh, Richards probably. Sells, Livramento, Van der Ven, Richards. Semenyo, Salah, Anderson, Kudus, João Pedro, Haaland, Ekatike. Or Cucurella, Porro, Munoz / Gakpo, Sarr, Salah. This is one of those messages where you've tried squeezing loads of stuff in and I've got no idea what you're asking. There are just loads and loads of apostrophes and hyphens and... Cucurella, Porro, Munoz / Gakpo, Sarr, Salah, Semenyo, JP, Eki, Wood. Can you add a comment to your message, RD, and try and clarify what you mean here? They're two different drafts. Okay, I wonder why there was a random dash in the middle. Okay, I get you now. All right, so Cucurella, Porro, Munoz, Gakpo, Sarr, Salah, Semenyo, JP, Ekatike, Wood. Oh, that's a tough one. So one is a Salah-only draft and one's a Salah-Haaland draft. Well, the Salah-only draft looks unbelievable, but you're locking yourself into free hit 6, and you're obviously not having Haaland. I look at that Salah-only draft, and it looks better to me. That defense, Cucurella, Porro, Munoz, you get Gakpo, Sarr, Salah. Like that is just such a good draft. I would probably go for the second one, but then having no Haaland feels tough. So it's up to you. It depends how much you need Haaland and then want Haaland, I guess. Ninja Turtle 177 says wildcard 3. Okay, you've got a wildcard. Petrovic, Livramento, Dorgu, Aina, Salah, Anderson, Sarr, Rogers, Haaland, Pedro, Mateta. Great. Dubravka, Van der Ven, Rodon. Would you recommend anything? So we just discussed, like, if you do drop one of Salah or Haaland, it looks unreal. But overall, I think that's a solid draft. Is there anything I would change massively? Don't know. I mean, you've sort of not really committed either way to a free hit. Like, this team doesn't look really full in on free hit 4 or free hit 6. You might just be leaving the free hit open, Ninja Turtle, but I would maybe just look at when you want to play your free hit and if that changes who you pick. Because if you're free hitting in 6, I don't know that I would go for, if you've got 2 or 3, 2 Forest players, but then you've only got, I suppose you've got 2 Palace. This is the thing, like, I feel like if you work out when you want a free hit, it might slightly change and improve your draft. But otherwise, it's nice. Lee Hemmings says, Captain Ollie Watkins this week. Thoughts? I think regardless of how tired or fatigued Palace look, Palace is still a good defence. So I think Watkins will have chances, and I think Aston Villa score. I don't know about captaincy, though. Bench Rogers or Reinders? I'd bench Reinders, probably. Hi, Ross. I had to spread funds around after the Palmer injury. for this game week. Who do I bench out of Reinders/Gakpo and Van de Ven/Aït-Nouri? Tough choice. I'd bench Van de Ven. I don't think that's a tough choice at all. I'd start Aït-Nouri. Reinders Gakpo is tough. I'd probably start Gakpo, just. Hi, Ross. Currently thinking Palmer, Diu to Dan Ndoye and Chris Wood. It would mean benching Shirky and Van Dijk as well. Also, I have no Palace. I don't mind Ndoye and Chris Wood, assuming that you know that next week they face Arsenal away and you need to look at what your team looks like. If you're on free hit 4, it's great. If you're not on free hit 4, bringing in double Palace before Arsenal away next week feels like, I know you've got a great fixture this week and a great fixture in 5, but that fixture in 4 does exist. So it's how much you're willing to sacrifice your team. And also, Shirky and Van Dijk, especially if Shirky starts, that they're not bad players. So can't really answer that question for you without knowing your chip strategy. I do think right now it will be useful for anyone to think about whether they want to play their free hit in a specific week over the next few. You might say, I've got no plans for the free hit, which is fine, but it might change who you look to bring in. Bench Tarkowski versus Wirtz. I would just start Tarkowski, Ross. Thor says, Family Feud update. Extended my lead to 30 points. 141 to 111. How are you two on so many points? Ugh, the pain. I would love some. Can you give me some points? But I've still got a free hit and bench boost. Oh, you've played 2 chips. I'll tell you what. 30 points with 2 more chips, Thor. I think your wife's in a good position. I think she can do it. MN Chuckster, by the way, thanks for the support as always, Mr. Thor Peterson? Hi, Egg and Pickle. Would you do any changes to this team? Sanchez, Aït-Nouri, Nico, Concert, Salah, Sarr, Verts, KDH, Wood, Watkins, Ekatike. 2 free transfers. Thanks and have a great weekend. Thank you as always for the support. MN Chuckster, I appreciate you very much. Would I make any changes? So you don't have Palmer. That's a nice position to be in. I don't think so, mate. Like, you could justify maybe selling Verts and using the money elsewhere, but he's got Burnley next week. You've already got Sarr in place. You've got Chris Wood. You've got Watkins. You've got a nice defence. I think that's a really nice team. Yeah, I don't see the need for any changes at all there myself. Palmer and Watkins to Haaland and which mid? 8 million max. You could sell Palmer and Watkins. I don't think I would sell Watkins personally. But if you want to do that and you've got up to 8 million to replace Palmer, you could go for Mateus, couldn't you? No, he's gone up, hasn't he? You could go for Brian Mbeumo. I would probably just go for like an Ismail Assar, a Kudus, a Semenyo, someone like that. Or even a Gibbs White. Gibbs White's probably going slightly under the radar. But yeah, I would probably go, I'd say Kudus, Sarr, or Semenyo would be my 3 favourites. Bench 1 of Gakpo, Ryan Aït-Nouri, Eva Nilsson, or Murillo. Probably out of those options, Aït-Nouri. FPL Victorious Secret says, Ross, I need your help. Should I take a -4 for Palmer out to start, or just start KDH? I mean, you could just start Dewsbury Hall. Also have Strand Larsen. Well, if you also have Strand Larsen, then he doesn't look very likely to feature. You could use a free hit. I would be tempted in that case, then keep Strand Larsen, keep Dewsbury Hall, just sell Palmer, and you're probably then going to end up starting whoever you sell Palmer for and Dewsbury Hall. But yeah, I'd probably keep Strand Larsen and Dewsbury Hall in that situation and sell Palmer. Hopefully that helps. Hi, Ross. Wildcard 3 thoughts. Okay, Joseph. Sells Aina, Dorgu, Munoz, Sarr Mbeumo, Semenyo, Gakpo, Gyökeres, Haaland, Wood. Bench of Dubravka, Reinders, Porro, and Juve. I'd get rid of Juve. I wouldn't have Juve anywhere near my wild card, in all honesty. West Ham look terrible. So I'd probably replace Juve with... I don't know what Pickle's doing this morning. I would replace Juve with Anderson or Richards or someone like that. Like a 4.5 with good defcom. Anything else I would massively improve? No, it's a nice looking wildcard team, in all honesty. I'm not going to try and put you off anything too much. Again, maybe have a little bit of a think about when you want to play the free hit, Joseph. That might help you just decide on a few things. Because I'm seeing a lot of teams right now, and it might not be a bad strategy, by the way, but it's like not really committing either way. And what you're going to get to a point with where your team in Game Week 6 isn't bad, but it's also not good. And then you're like, do I play the free hit? But I've not really optimized for it. So it's why I'm probably not leaning towards bringing in Chris Wood this week. Just because I know I can free hit him in for Sunderland at home in Game Week 6. That's one of his best fixtures gone. Joshua Evans says, hi, Egg. Hello, Joshua. Field Sells or Sanchez? Sells this week, yeah. Also field 2 of Verts, Bowen, Romero, Reinders, and 8 Nuri. Oh, that's tough. I would probably say... Oh, that's very tough, actually. Probably Tajani, Reinders, and Bowen, Verts. Tajani, Reinders, and Verts, I'd probably say. Cancelled says, good morning, Ross. Wildcard active with free hit 4 game week. Okay, so you're free hitting them 4. Nice. Sanchez, Cucurella, Nico Williams, Dorgu, Mbermo, Kudus, Semenyo, Reinders, Wood, Pedro, Haaland. A bench of Dubravka, Sarr, Munoz, Van der Ven. So you're free hitting in game week 4. So my initial thought when I look at that team is if you're free hitting in 4, I don't know about having double Palace. I would maybe be tempted by 1 Palace. My next thought is, do you only have 2 Forest? If you're free hitting in 4, surely you go triple Forest. I would be very tempted to replace Sanchez with Sells or to go out there and get Anderson instead of one of your midfielders. Otherwise, it's a really nice team. I can't really massively criticise it too much. And I like the fact that you've got your free hit strategy in place. Ross Fraser says, sell Verts to Semenyo or Sarr. I have Porro versus Bournemouth. I would just keep Florian Verts, Ross. If you're going to sell him, I would go for either Semenyo or Sarr. I probably slightly prefer Sarr. I would just keep Florian Verts. Next week, you'd be very happy to have him against Burnley. Hey, Ross, Wan-Bissaka to Livramento or Romero? I quite like Livramento. I'd be very tempted to have a punt on Livramento. Shaunak says, hey Ross, hello Shaunak. Currently have Sanchez, Dorgu. Okay, I've got your team, Shaunak. I won't read it out, but I've got it in my mind. 1 million in the bank, 2 free transfers. Should I take a free hit this week? Any other suggestions? You don't need a free hit. You've already got Bruno in there. Anderson and Reinders look good. Or is that, what Anderson is that? Is that the... I don't know if you've just misspelled. No, that is the defender, Anderson. Okay, not as good then. Reinders, Bruno, Movert, João Pedro, Evanilson. You've got Dorgu, Porro, Juve. I mean, you could free hit that, absolutely. It's not like the strongest team. I would probably just sell Cole Palmer and Guiu and go out there and get anyone you want. Any midfielder, and then probably João Pedro, Mateta, or Chris Wood. So yeah, I would use the 2 free transfers and sell Palmer and Guiu. It will make your squad stronger overall. It will just give you a little bit more squad depth. You can obviously bench whoever you want out of your attackers then. I think I would probably lean that way, Shaunak. Sutter says, any changes you'd make to this free hit team? Sells, Cucurella, Porro, Dorgu, Bruno, Cunha, Gibbs, White, Barnes, Wood, Haaland, João Pedro. No. I would be very tempted to try and squeeze Livramento in, because I think he looks good at the moment. There is a change. I would have Milenkovic in there. I think Milenkovic will have a very good chance of scoring ahead of this week. But yeah, other than that, these are very small changes. It's a great free hit. What are your thoughts on free hit 3? I don't mind free hit 3. If your team's looking a little bit weak and you want a bit more information, but I think most people can get away with not doing it and their team doesn't look that bad. Ishan says Palmer to Ndoye or roll and start Richards. Free hit 4, wildcard 7. I would just start... I do like Ndoye, though. Free hit 4, wildcard 7. I think if you're on free hit 4, I would go Ndoye. Yeah, get Ndoye. He's a nice transfer in. Or even, like I say, you could go for a Hudson-Odoi. You could go for a Gibbs White if you can afford him. Gibbs White's not a bad shout. Bench Reinders or Sarr, or bench boost to avoid making the decision. I wouldn't bench boost if he's your only strong player on the bench. I would probably bench Reinders and start Ismaila Sarr. Ross says for captain, Johnson, Gakpo, Bruno, Rogers, Verts, Watkins, Ekatike. Bruno for me. That's actually quite an easy one. Out of the options you've listed there, I think Bruno's a very easy captain. If you've got a João Pedro, a Wood, a Haaland, I think you could go elsewhere. But in your case, Ross, that's a Bruno cap. Emil says, hey, Raptor, who starts? Milenkovic, Richards, Porro, Cucurella. Okay. Who starts? Well, I would bench... So you need to bench one of those defenders. I would bench Richards quite easily there. And then in midfield and attack, it's probably Meniz that I would bench. Yeah, Meniz and Richards would be the 2. Daniel says 30 today. Happy birthday, Daniel. Big love. I'm 30 in 18 months. I'll turn 30. Start Reinders or Ismail Assar? I would start Ismail Assar and bench Reinders. But I think that is a very close one. Lots of people asking the same thing. It's quite close. Posh has been a member for 30 months. Thank you very much, Posh. I appreciate it. Jeremy Violet, been a member for 24 months. Or Vole, sorry, I said Violet, it's Vole. Hey, Ross, wish you... Oh. My live stream just crashed. I think that was just my chat. I think I'm still streaming. Are we still here, chat? My live stream completely crashed on Chrome. I think it was just my Chrome. I think hopefully you could still hear me throughout that. Hey, Ross, wish you all a good game week. Could be cool to have a fun part started. Yeah, it would be nice to have fun soon, wouldn't it? Palmer and Fulcrook to Barnes and Wood captain. I love those transfers. Good luck, mate. Good luck. Isn't Burmo an option as captain? Yes, absolutely. Need captaincy. Palmer and Watkins to Haaland and Kudus from -4. Yeah, I don't mind it. I wouldn't sell Watkins again, but I can understand why you would. Right, should we run a poll? Oh, by the way, guys, should say. Is this going to work? Nope. Well, that's not what I want. That's not ideal. I didn't set that up right. That's just my... No, that's my... Oh, God. I'll sort that out later then. I've not sorted that out properly at all. you know when you think you've sorted everything out, but you've just not sorted everything out. You're in your 20s, Egg. I'm 28, actually. Right, let's run a poll for captaincy. Chat, who are you captaining? Remember, I can only put 3 options and then other. 3 options and then other. So, who are you captaining? Game week 3, captaincy poll. Bruno. Haaland. Wood. Wood looks very... Oh, God. Wood is far too popular. I'm not even going to bloody own Wood, I don't think. That's scary. Okay. Should we do a spin of the wheel? This feels like as good a time as any. Whilst you're voting, let's get the ball involved in the action. Right. Bruno, who do you want on the wheel? We can have as many as we want. Haaland. Shouldn't have too many, though, because then it gets a bit silly, you know. Haaland, Wood. Pedro. Salah, yeah, of course. Let's not forget Salah. Phil Jones. You don't want to captain Phil Jones. Watkins, Mbamo, Cunha. Are you selling Cole Palmer? Yes, I am. Yeah. Right, I'm just going to answer a couple of questions and I'm going to get back to it. Hi, Ross. Bench one of Agbadu, Semenyo, Porro. I would bench Agbadu. Phil says, okay, I've got your team, Phil. 2 free transfers, 0 in the bank. Would you make any changes? Tosin Porro, Van Ven, Nope, Salah, Reinders, Verts, Dewsbury Hall, Haaland. Not the strongest midfield. I don't think there's anything that stands out to me that you can do that would massively benefit your team across the next 2, Phil. So I would probably roll the transfer because it's not like you have a Palmer that you can use to downgrade. Like I don't think I would want to sell Verts, Ekatike or Salah, which is what you'd need to do to free up the funds. So no, I wouldn't. Start Munoz or Verts. If you've got double Villa attack, maybe you go for Florian Wirtz. I think that's very close, but yeah, maybe just about Florian Wirtz. Collins or Gabriel? To start this week, Collins, to buy Gabriel. Was there anyone I missed off the captaincy? Dorgu. I'm not captaining. No one's captaining Dorgu, surely. I can't put Dorgu on a captaincy poll. I think those are the main ones. If you're captaining someone else, I do apologise. Right. If you are new to the channel, firstly, consider subscribing. The Will... What did the Will say last week? Oh, no, it said Eva Nilsson, didn't it? Eva Nilsson and Watkins, I think it said. The Will is normally very accurate, okay? We trust the Will of our life. We don't really, but... Oh, God, that is loud. Turn that down. It's best of 3, so it has to land on a player twice. Okay, it has to land on a player twice. So who was that? Oh, I forgot to do the count thing. Oh, goodness. I have to remember. That was Salah. Oof. That was so close to a second Salah there, just immediately off the bat. Okay, remember, I forgot to do the count for Salah, but Salah's on 1. Okay. That was so close to Salah twice in a row. The sound is so corny, I love it. Yeah, I know it is, isn't it? Oh, this is another close one. That's going to be Cunha, isn't it? Yep. Okay, count. Do I take a -4 to get rid of Bowen? Your elements aren't rotating. Oh. Oh, yeah, they're not, are they? Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for that. I completely didn't realise. There we go. That's going to... I don't know why I have to sort of... Oh, I didn't even do that one. I forgot to update that. Oh, dear. Chat, I've had a mare here. This is why I didn't have it rotating. I don't even know how to hide it. Ignore the left bottom ones. Is there a way to get rid of them? You'd think by now I know what I'm doing in life. But I don't. I could just bin that off. Then can I bin that off? Does that work? There we go. Sorry. Back to what we were doing. Thank you for whoever spotted that. Let me bring this back up. Okay, let's carry on. Listen. Clearly the will doesn't like Bruno Fernandes. That's the vibe that I'm getting right now, is that the will does not want me to captain Bruno. Now, is this the correct thing? Who knows? Thank you. The will was list. Me and the Will, we vibe together, okay? So what was one? So Salah also got 1. So we're still not had anyone that's landed on twice. Please can I have your thoughts on Grealish. Grealish is fine. I have no issue with Grealish as a pump. Oh no. I don't even think I'm going to have João Pedro. Okay, someone else that isn't João Pedro. We're just going to get a second option for those that don't have João Pedro. Okay. Let's just get this over and done with. I just don't care anymore. Me and the Will are not happy. Oh, it's Haaland. Are you... The best 2 captains, apparently, I don't even own. I don't even own them. Right, I want to go... I need someone that I own. I need to know, out of the players that I own, don't give me João Pedro and Haaland. What's that about? So, ignore everything before. Bruno's the best captain. Bruno's the one. Okay, we're going to captain. Bruno's the best captain. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not fixed. It's not fixed. It's not fixed. You just spin until the wheel gives you what you want. That doesn't mean it's fixed. Right, Bruno. Bruno triple captain. Let's do this. Let's do this. The will was spoken. We're triple captain Bruno. Oh god, João Pedro ruined my game week last week within minutes. He's gonna do it again this week. Why did Chelsea keep being the early kickoff as well? Right, Jacob says start Munoz or Verts. I did that one, didn't I? I did that one. Palmer, Eze, Beto out. Johnson, João Pedro, Semenyo in. Yeah, I don't mind those transfers, Florin. Don't mind them. Why you got Palmer? I not made transfers, that's why. Hi Ross, need help with captaincy. I've got my free hit this week to go big on Forest's fixture. Do I double down Captain Wood or just stick it on Haaland? I wouldn't double down, but if you think Wood is the best captain, then Captain Wood. If you think Haaland's the best captain, then Captain Haaland. I know that's a really cop-out answer, but I guess what I'm saying is don't view it as a double down kind of thing. Just view it as who do you think will get more points. I would lean marginally towards Haaland cap. So as of right now, Chris Wood is the most popular captain in this stream. That's not good. That scares me a lot. I'm probably not going to own Chris Wood, I would say. Dennis says, holy F. 11 is... Okay, I've got your 11. What do we do? 2 free transfers help me last in my work league. Well, your team's basically mine, isn't it? So I am looking at something like Palmer and Fulkrug out, and then any of Sarr, Semenyo, Kudus in, and then any of João Pedro, Wood, Mateta in. That's what I'm looking at. At the moment, I'm leaning towards Kudus and Mateta, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Sarr and João Pedro by the deadline. Or even, I am still really tempted to just go and get Elliot Anderson and give myself ultimate flexibility next week. But I quite like Kudus, and I think Kudus is quite lowly owned, so I think I'm leaning that way. But yeah, best of luck, Dennis. Hopefully you're not last going into next week. What do you think about Alanga? Yeah, I really like Alanga. I like Harvey Barnes. I think they are both quite underrated players this week to be gone by. Anish says, I moved Palmer out, okay, and also upgraded one of my defenders before the Wolves presser. Now I have 6 attackers, assuming Larson won't start. Should I take a hit to upgrade Guiu to Mateta? Richards is my first bench. So what you're saying is you either get Mateta or for a -4, or you just play Richards. I would just play Richards. I don't know that Mateta is definitely 4 points better than Richards for me this week. And it gives you a little bit more information to accumulate ahead of next week. Yeah, I probably wouldn't buy Mateta then in that case. Dan Taylor says, good morning, Ross. Thoughts on Semenyo and Sarr in for Wirtz and Palmer this week? Semenyo and Sarr in for Wirtz and Palmer. This week, I think that will go very well for you. Next week, when Wirtz has Burnley and Palmer's back for Brentford away, that looks like that could absolutely be horror, Dan. But I can understand why people are losing patience with Florian Wirtz, but he's got Burnley and Everton in the next 2 after game week 3, so I won't be selling him. But as transfers go, to give you the funds to do Guiu to Mateta, I don't mind them. I suppose my question is, do you need to do both of those moves to give you the funds? Can you not just do Sarr in for Palmer? That would give you the funds to do Guiu in for Mateta, right? Sorry, Guiu to Mateta. Stevie Boy 181 says, get rid of Guiu or Larson. I would keep Larson just in case, because if Larson's fit, and if he doesn't move to Newcastle, he's a great option. If he does move to Newcastle, you never know, he might be the starting 9 for them. So I would probably keep Strand Larson if you can a little bit longer. So I would get rid of Guiu. And I would probably go for any of Wood, Mateta, or João Pedro. Mark says, hey, missed my super chat. Sorry, mate. Please rank Ndoye, Gibbs White, Hudson Ndoye. If money was no object, Gibbs White, Ndoye, Hudson Ndoye. Considering money is an object, maybe I would rank them in the order that you've listed them, Mark, probably. I have no idea how Pickle is still stirring stuff. It's mental. Mental stuff. She's still stirring. Which midfielder should I get if I'm on free hit 4? If you're on free hit 4, I'd be looking at a Forest midfielder. A Forest midfielder. Because their only difficult fixture, really, is that Arsenal one in 4. So Ndoye, Gibbs White, even an Elliot Anderson, by the way, I still think is a great shout. Is Kudus the best replacement for Palmer? I don't know about the best replacement, but I'm certainly considering him. She's always stirring the pot. I like that. Sexy bald man, bench Wirtz or Gyökeres? I would bench Wirtz and start Gyökeres because he's on pens, Gyökeres, right? And he's their number 9. How long we got to the deadline? Okay, just over an hour. Plenty of time to think about what we want to do. Who are you selling for Fulkrug? I'm actually leaning right now. Let me bring it back up for those that have just joined. By the way, if you've just joined the stream, I'd love to hit 167,000 on the stream. We're only 160 subscribers away. I'm sure, like guaranteed, there are at least 160 people watching that aren't subscribed. If you're watching and you don't have a YouTube account, feel free to create a YouTube account and subscribe. Or get your mum, your nan, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your dog, or your cat, or your goldfish to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. So, my transfer options are these. As of right now, I will add a fourth option on there, which is basically option 1, but Anderson instead of Kudus. So I think the first thing I want to decide is how much do I want Jean-Philippe? How much do I want Jean-Philippe? If I want Jean-Philippe, then I don't get Sarr. And if I want Jean-Philippe, then it's basically Kudus or Anderson. If I want Sarr instead, then it's João Pedro or Chris Wood. Just got my lizard to subscribe. Goldfish can't subscribe. Why not? That just sounds like a skill issue. Everyone will say option 3 or option 2 because it's what everyone else is doing. Everyone's captaining Chris Wood, everyone's buying Chris Wood, and most people already own João Pedro. So every single person in the stream will just repeatedly probably say 2 or 3, but that's because that's what everyone else is doing. And everyone just wants you to do what they're doing. It's kind of a natural psychology thing. Like, there's comfort for people in seeing others do what they're doing. But I do think that there's not that much in it, and one just feels a little bit different. Gives you something interesting to watch as well, right? All I get every week is, Ross, you've got the same team as every other content creator. There's absolutely no way that anyone can claim that after that. So I don't think there's much between 1, 2, and 3, but 1 at least feels a bit spicy. Not sure why more poodles aren't moving to Richarlison. Just because he's a slight minutes threat, right? He's only played 71 and 73 mins, I think, in the first 2 games. Why not Kudus and João Pedro? I did think about this, and maybe that's the play here, but then I kind of do want a Palace attacker for Sunderland and West Ham. And the thing is, if I go for Kudus and João Pedro, I can't then get Mateta, and I don't have an easy route to Sarr. I would be able to get Munoz, but then I would just have Munoz and Richards and no Sarr or Mateta. So I kind of like the idea of getting one of the Palace boys in. Who is the best replacement for Palmer if not Kudus? Sarr or Semenyo, I'd probably say. I just woke up. I can smell a -4 calling my name. Gyökeres to Wood is tempting. I'm seeing a lot of people buy Gyökeres this week. I wouldn't sell Gyökeres to Wood, personally. The reason I'm not going for double Palace is, or in terms of Sarr and Mateta, is you can see I've got Richards there. If I go Sarr and Mateta and then I want Munoz, I have to sell Richards, which doesn't feel like an ideal transfer. Or I just go without Munoz. And it might be that I choose not to move to Munoz, but I kind of want to open that opportunity up for myself. Like you know, same team as you. Last one now. Got to make a wedding in 1.5 hours. What about Watkins to Haaland and Florian Wirtz to Sarr and Palmer to Kudus for a -4? Or do we switch like you first said, lock me in? I think you should make your own decision, Dennis. Whatever feels good to you. I won't be selling Watkins as part of a -4 and Wirtz. Like selling Watkins, Wirtz and Palmer next week, I would feel terrible about that. Wirtz has Burnley. Palmer's got Brentford. Watkins, I think, will be great over the next few as well. In 5, he's got Sunderland. That's not a move that I would ever make. But again, you should trust yourself with it. Trust yourself. Get Sarr in and enjoy the game. If it's about enjoying the game, I should get Jean-Philippe Mateta because he's my favourite player. In fact, if I was playing with full enjoyment in mind, and maybe I should play with full enjoyment, if it was just full like wanting to have fun and pick the players that I want, you guys will know my 2 favourite players last season in FPL was Mateta and Cunha. If I was playing just to have fun and enjoy FPL, those are the 2 moves I would make. My concern is, do I want double United? I'm then spending 17.1 million on Manchester United players. And then it's City and Chelsea after the Burnley game. So I don't think Cunha's the right player to bring in for me when I've already got Fernandes. But that would be what I was doing if I was just trying to have fun with FPL. Sadly, it's not just about fun. So I think at the moment I am leaning towards those transfers. I thought you loved Eze. I hate Arsenal. No, I'm joking. He plays for Arsenal now, so he's not an option, is he? Not an option to bring him. But no, my two favourite players in the last couple of seasons have probably been Cunha and Mateta. Acuna Matata. You know? They were so good to me last year. No, I'm not bringing in Cunha. Everyone's lost their mind. Everyone's lost their mind. Yeah, Kudus is really wide. I agree with that. That's my slight concern here, is that he doesn't feel like the main sort of goal scorer in that team. I think with Xavi Simons signing, he could even be less of that. There is part of me that just thinks just go and get Anderson. Don't love it though. Option 4, get Barnes. What do you think? Yeah, I like Harvey Barnes. I like Harvey Barnes a lot. I probably won't do it myself, but I think it's a fine transfer. Salah has 11 goals, 4 assists in 16 games versus Arsenal. If everyone is going against him, then he's a lovely differential captain. I agree. I said that on X a couple of days ago. Like, the more people that go against Salah, the more tempted you should be to captain Salah, because you get him at his lowest ownership. Amir says, sells Milenkovic. Okay, I've got your team. Should I bench Semenyo or start Reinders? I would bench Reinders and start Semenyo. I think even though you've got a Spurs defender, I just think that Semenyo is a better asset than Reinders. It's a great team though, Amir. I really like that team a lot. Front three of Haaland, João Pedro, Wood feels great. I'm assuming you're on wildcard because that team's too good to not be a wildcard team. Or a free hit team. I'd imagine it's a wildcard team. It looks really good. Bench Bowen, Semenyo, Verts, or Reinders. Do you know what, chat? I want a wildcard. Can you imagine if I just do like a rage wildcard on the stream? Looking at how good some of these wildcard teams are, it is so tempting. It really is. I'm just trying to hold firm because I just don't know that I have quite enough information right now. But having a front three of Haaland, João Pedro, Wood, having the likes of Kudus and Fernandes and a Gakpo and a really solid defence, I would like that. Sorry, bench Bowen, Semenyo, Verts, or Reinders. I'd bench Florian Verts. Would for Strand Larson or play KDH on wildcard 4? If you're on wildcard 4, if you're going to captain Wood, I would do it. Otherwise, just play Dewsbury Hall. F it, Ross. Let's wildcard this week. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Haaland, Pedro, and Wood, or Watkins, Gyökeres, and Beto. Haaland, Pedro, and Wood looks better to me. A lot better. When is the planned wildcard for your team? Preferably game week 13. That's the plan. Game week 13. Because look, in game week 13, this is Liverpool's fixture run. Liverpool in game week 13 go against West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds, Brighton, Spurs, Wolves, Leeds. Mental run of fixtures. And then City, arguably just as good. So in 13, City face Leeds, Fulham, Sunderland, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Forest, Sunderland. By the way, if you've not yet seen, we've got a little fun thing here. The game week 15 fixtures. Firstly, look how good these fixtures are right in game week 15. You've got Liverpool against Leeds. You've got Everton Forest. You've got Spurs Brentford. You've got Man City Sunderland. You've got Newcastle Burnley. Look at how good those fixtures are. You might think as a result, given how good those fixtures are, I'm going to free hit. But then game week 19 is exactly the same fixtures, just reversed. So the teams that played at home are away and the teams that are away are home. So you've still got Newcastle Burnley, Liverpool Leeds, City Sunderland. So game week 15 and 19 are wild, which means the team that you want in 15 is going to be the team you want in 19. So I think wildcarding in 13 for a team that sets up really well for game week 15 and game week 19 looks really good. If you can get to game week 13 without having to need the wildcard, I think. Also, do remember that between game weeks 15 and 16, we get our transfers topped up to 5 because of AFCON. So it could be that you just use all of your transfers for game week 15, and then going into 16, you have 5 free transfers to use as you please. So we are going to get a lot of free transfers around that time. So you could maybe just play the wildcard now and just deal with it with free transfers. Deadline is 11 today, Ross, not 11:30. It's always 11. Did I say 11:30 somewhere? I don't think so. My deadline counter says 11. Yeah, it's always been 11, the deadline. Well, not always, but last 2 seasons it has been. Hello, who do I bench? Tijani, Reinders, Rodgers, or Gakpo? I would bench Tijani probably. -4, Ruta to Elanga/Semenyo always allows me to bench Verts. So a -4 to bench Verts for Elanga or Semenyo, I probably wouldn't. But if you're going to go for it, I don't hate it, Dr. Greek. Wood or Watkins for captaincy? I'd probably go Chris Wood. I'm so terrified of Chris Wood. You hate Arsenal. You're going to lose a lot of followers. Come on, you Gunners. I do hate Arsenal, yeah. It doesn't affect my FPL decisions. I usually have triple Arsenal. The reason is I grew up in Essex, but really close to London, and all of my friends are Arsenal fans. It's nothing really against Arsenal as a team. It's more just you always hate the team that your friends support. I think that's a fairly normal thing for everyone. So yeah, I grew up around loads of Arsenal fans, and all they used to do was try and argue with me that Arsenal were better than United. And obviously now Arsenal are. But when I grew up, Manchester United were the better team. But that's why I don't really like Arsenal as many of that. And also, I grew up in the era with like Vieira versus Keane, for example. You know, I grew up in the era where United and Arsenal were constantly going at it. So for me, Arsenal are my most disliked club. But it's nothing against Arsenal. It's just where I grew up and when I grew up, I guess. Everyone's got that team that they just dislike for no good reason, really. Pick 3 midfielders for wildcard, but don't say Semenyo, Reinders, Sarr because they're too template. Okay, Kudus, Elanga, and who's a third midfielder that you could go for that's a bit different? Ndoye. There you go. There's 3 slightly different midfielders. Agbadu or Livramento? Livramento for me. Raptor gets a like for hating Arsenal. I want to make it clear. Arsenal fans, no disrespect. It's all well and good. Like there's only love, right? But yeah, in the past I've not gone well with Arsenal. By the way, as a few people mentioned, Dango Ouattara is not a bad pick on wildcard if you want to go there. Prajwal says I had Ruta, Palmer, Strand Larson. Want to remove Bruno. You want to remove Bruno? Fair enough. Hit the wildcard with Haaland and Salah. That's a nice team, yeah. I don't know that I would pick King on wildcard. I feel like if you're wildcarding, you should sort out your structure a bit more than that. So I wouldn't have King. I would say probably have to sacrifice probably a little bit in the defence if you wanted to have Josh King upgraded to like a Tijani Reinders or something like that. Martin says 2 free transfers. Cole, Saka to who? Take it for Haaland. You could take a hit for Haaland. I also think I would potentially just make 2 transfers and then just keep the money in the bank. So you could go like Semenyo, Sarr, or Kudus, 2 of those, and just keep the money to then use next week. It might be that you can get like Watkins straight to Haaland if that's a move you want to make. Kudus or Semenyo for my Palmer replacement. I think Kudus versus Semenyo is incredibly close. The thing that is leaning me towards Kudus is if I just show you... Semenyo's fixtures, if you're on free hit 6, Semenyo's got Leeds away in 6. So if you remove game week 6, it's Spurs, Brighton, Newcastle, Fulham, Palace, Forest, City. That's their best fixture. So that is what has leaned me away from Semenyo. Not to say, by the way, we saw him score against Liverpool, that he can't score in games like Spurs, Brighton, or Newcastle. But that's the game I'd want him for, and I think I'm going to free hit that week. So as a result, I think Kudus just looks a little bit stronger because his fixtures overall a bit better. If you're on free hit 6. Andre says Palmer and Watkins / Eva Nilsson to Haaland and Kudus / Dango. Honestly, I've never heard someone make so much noise in my life. It is mental. Have you not tried stirring without the spoon hitting the glass?
I'm using your tiny little thing.
Well, don't use the tiny little thing. Just stir, like stir like this, but without it hitting the glass. And also, as you're drinking, I can hear you swirling around every time.
Basically, I bought matcha powder and it's really not like mixing well.
We can hear it. We can hear it. Okay, fair enough. Goodness me, chat.
Why don't you just focus? Try your hardest.
I mean, I am trying to focus. But my chat is put off. My chat is put off by the fact that FPL Raptor and Pickle is such a vibe. We're just having a domestic. Chat, can we all relax whilst we just have a domestic? Carry on with your match. It's fine.
Sorry.
Divorce. Yeah, we're already divorced. It's over. Let Pickle cook. Don't poke the bear. I don't even know where I was at that stage. Pickle just absolutely threw me off my game. Right, let's get back to it. Palmer and Watkins / Eva Nilsson and to Haaland and Kuda / Dango. If you can do Palmer and Eva Nilsson to Haaland and Dango, I don't mind that. I probably wouldn't, though. Because I think Watkins and Eva Nilsson are both really decent picks. Barnes or Elanga? I think for 1 week, Barnes. Longer term, I think Elanga's minutes are slightly safer. Yes, just joking, mate. We grew up in the same area. United is forever the enemy. Yeah, listen, I do not mind when people say they hate Manchester United. I get it. I understand it. What about Ndoye and Mateta for Palmer and Guiu? Yeah, I don't mind that. I do think Ndoye's minutes, by the way, are a slight risk. Not a massive one. I expect him to continue starting, but he is more of a risky pick than a Gibbs White, for example, you know? Would you do Rodgers to Kudus on a free transfer? No. I think Rodgers and Kudus is like, I don't think Rodgers is much worse. I definitely wouldn't sell Rodgers to Kudus this week. Bruno or Wood 3/C. What just happened? 480M on a super aggro strat. I don't even know what that means. Are you just saying who to captain, or who you triple captaining? I would captain Bruno slightly. No, I would say Wood's a slightly better captain than Bruno, but I think it's very close. I don't understand what the 3 and the 4 mean. Daniel King says, best striker other than João Pedro. My next 2 is Wood and Haaland. Best striker other than João Pedro. So you already own Wood and Haaland. Probably Mateta. Or Ekatike if you want to take a risk. But I think Isak looks like he could still sign. So I'd probably say Mateta. Bench Reinders / Sarr and Richards / Van der Ven. I'm starting Porro. I would start Sarr. I would maybe start Sarr and Richards. Actually, maybe Van der Ven. Maybe Van der Ven and Sarr. Yeah. I'm assuming that's Ismail Sarr, by the way. If it's Papa Sarr, maybe start Reinders. Free hit, Porro or Cucurella? I think on a free hit, I'd go Cucurella. Magnetic Sparks plays says, I have Cunha on wildcard for the punt, but who to go for in week 4? I have Sarr, Gakpo, Reinders, Semenyo, or just go Anderson, Gibbs, White for the long run. I would probably just not go for a United player and go for Gibbs White, although I think Cunha this week is brilliant. So I get it, but I just think Gibbs White, you can sort of keep him. Or you could even go for like a Kudus in that spot there. Kudus you could just keep in every week as well. How do you feel about Gakpo? I like him. I don't know I'd bring him in this week, but from 4 onwards. My concern is, again, if Isak signs and plays a lot of minutes, then surely Ekatike takes the minutes off of Gakpo on the left. I don't know how many minutes, though. What are your thoughts on Munoz versus Mitchell? Mitchell's a risk. I think Sosa will eventually start in the Premier League ahead of Mitchell. I don't think Mitchell's long-term going to start every game in the Prem. So I think Munoz is much, much, much better. Shazam with the super chat says, Pickle, can I have a cappuccino with one of those small cookies on the side? Honestly, loving a matcha. So at least it's a healthier version of like an energy drink, I suppose. Palmer and Strand Larson. By the way, thank you for the super chat, Mr. Shazam. Palmer and Strand Larson to Guiu. Sorry. Palmer / I feel like I need a degree in math sometimes with all of the pluses and the slashes and the hyphens. Palmer and Strand Larson / Guiu to Gakpo / Semenyo and Mateta / Chocorez. Or keep it simple, Anderson to Dorgu and start Dorgu and Estev. Anderson to Dorgu feels like a terrible transfer. I wouldn't make that. Palmer and Guiu. I think Palmer and Guiu to Semenyo and Mateta I like. That's what I would do. Thoughts on Dango as a Palmer replacement? I like Dango this week. Longer term, I don't feel like he's the best player to have. I would like him on a free hit, but I don't know about a transfer. I feel like I need to see a bit more from him, but he was very good for Bournemouth when he was starting. I don't hate him. Free hit. Okay, I've got your free hit, Tio. Would you change anything? It's lovely. I don't think I'd have Reinders on a free hit. Reinders doesn't feel like a very high upside pick this week. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Also, Ryan Aitnuri. I don't know about double City against Brighton. It's a lovely team, Tio. I think 8 Nuri and Reinders are the only two I'm a little suspect on. But if you fancy City to do well, then keep it. Thoughts on Ndoye, mate? Sorry, I've already asked. A couple of people have asked. For Ndoye, I think at the moment he's been Forest's best attacker. He looks really good. He's had decent output. But some Forest fans seem to think his minutes are still slightly at risk longer term. So I think in the short term, you're absolutely fine. But don't be surprised if he gets a few early subs and maybe there's the odd game that he's benched. But if he continues playing the way he has, I think he'll keep his place. He's really nice at that price, I think. Richarlison, Mateta or Wood? Mateta and Wood are ahead of Richarlison for me. Out of the two, Wood's better this week, Mateta's better next week. Longer term, I think they're very similar. Reinders or Minter? I would start Reinders. Liz says, any thought of transferring out Guiu instead of Fulkrug this week, given the potential Guiu's price may drop sooner? Fulkrug will drop before Guiu, I would imagine. Fulkrug's very, very close to a price drop. Also, I want to give myself as much money next week to just maybe do something slightly different, which is why I'm even tempted to do Anderson rather than Kudus. What about Grealish? Wolves, Villa and Merseyside derby next 3. I don't love that, though. I don't think Villa are a bad defence, and Liverpool, as much as it is a Merseyside derby, I'd expect them to dominate that game. Wolves is decent this week, but I don't mind Grealish. Like, lots of people are very keen on it. It's very exciting. Like, if we get the Grealish that we saw at Aston Villa, great. He isn't the same Grealish. He's a little bit older. He's going to take a while to get his mojo back. I know he looked very good in the first game, but I need a bit more info, data, eye test to go with, personally. Harney says, free hit, pick 4. Gibbs, White, Alanga, Barnes, Cunha, Mbeumo, Esteval. I would go Cunha and Mbeumo, and then I would pick maybe Gibbs, White, and one of Alanga or Barnes. I'm going to say Cunha, Mbeumo, Gibbs, White, Barnes would be the 4 I would go for. But all of those are good options, mate. If you've got a gut feeling about Esteval, for example, don't mind it. Rage LYNSB says, I have Saka and Guiu. Hub says Dango in the midfield. And then I want Wood, Zhao or Ekatike. Have Mateta and Haaland. If I go Ekatike, I don't have to free hit game week 4. If I go Wood/Zhao, I can go Bruno to Palmer or Saka once they're back. Who to go for? Yeah, I don't mind Dango Ouattara, but don't just listen to everything that an algorithm says. So if you're not feeling Dango Ouattara, there are other options you could go for. I would probably say that even, like, ignoring your free hit thoughts, I don't think you need to free hit in 4 regardless. I would probably go for Wood or João Pedro ahead of Ekatike, because I think it's very close. They're around $1 million cheaper, and there are still doubts around Ekatike's minutes if Isak signs. Thank you very much for the super chat. I would go for probably João Pedro or Chris Wood. You should bench Palmer, let Juve play and roll. It's a bit passive. I'm not going to do that. I've also got Fulkrug. That's the issue. Unless you're talking about yourself, in which case go for it. But I've also got a Fulkrug size issue to deal with. If Fulkrug scores and wipes out my Williams clean sheet, I'm going to lose my mind. Stop telling me to triple captain Bruno, Frosty. Is Strand Larsen starting? The latest news is that it looks unlikely, but it's not confirmed, by the way. Not confirmed at all. I've also heard from someone at Wolves that works quite closely with Wolves, that Strand Larsen actually genuinely does have an Achilles issue. I'm not saying that there isn't also a chance he moves to Newcastle, but apparently there is an actual Achilles issue going on. So, yeah. What's the point of starting Palmer when you have bench options? I'm going to sell Palmer. Just not made the move yet. Alanga or Kudus? I think they're both good. Alanga and Kudus are both good. Fulkrug hat-trick. If Fulkrug scores a hat-trick, I swear to God, I'm going to lose my mind. Lose my mind. Barnes is out, according to NUFC Will. What? Oh, wow. This guy is really hit and miss. I'm super wary to even show you this. I'm going to show you, but I am heavily caveating this with the fact that this guy has been very wrong on multiple occasions, but he's also been... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. He's also been very right on multiple occasions as well. So I do think he has a source, but he's super unreliable. I'm just saying on a free hit, it would at least be worth making sure you have a bench option. But he said that Barnes doesn't start. It's a very bold call to make, I will admit. So I would imagine that therefore means, as someone said here, Murphy, Osula, Elanga would be the front three. So I think if you've not already moved for Barnes, maybe go for Elanga instead. But then again, I do not want to be responsible for this if Barnes starts and does really well. Completely at your own discretion to make this choice, but I thought I'd at least show you it. So yeah, keep an eye on it. And Osula starts. If you wanted to take a mega punt on the free hit, by the way, you could do. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. But that's a very bold claim to make because no one would have expected him to be on the bench. I need to sort this out is the issue, and I don't know how to do it. It's the wrong screen. I need it to be that screen, don't I? There we go. Sorry, chat, about just showing you the back end of what I'm doing. I needed to sort that out. It's all sorted now. Wait, Ross, will you be taking Palmer out? I will be taking Palmer out, yeah. Play Semenyo or Gakpo? I would be playing... I'll play some... Oh, that's a tough one. I'll probably play Semenyo just about. Do you think Elanga's spot in the team is secure? Yeah, I do. But it is interesting to see... If Barnes isn't injured and he does miss out, it's just interesting to see him get the minutes. Murphy. So maybe eventually Elanga won't start every game. Yeah, it is club time. So... Basically, these streams are sponsored by Club this season, which is pretty amazing. I am a shareholder within the company Formation Games, which is pretty cool, the Creative Club. I'm in the game myself. And basically what we do on these streams is just a quick little meet now with the agent Manny to see who we get to improve our team. So if you want to check out Club, there is a link down below. It's basically free to play fantasy football, but there's a bit of club ownership. All you guys need to do is when I meet with Manny, I can get any player in the Premier League. Right? So all you need to do is guess a player in the Premier League, and if anyone gets it right, you'll get a shout out. Any player in the Premier League that you think I'll get from Meet with Manny is basically the equivalent of opening a pack in FIFA, but it's only Premier League players. So I'll give you a second to guess, and then we'll meet with Manny. I'll answer your questions whilst we're doing it. You're playing Club. Good to see. Loads of people playing Club. I've got over 2,000 people in my league, by the way. It's crazy. I'll show you my league code in a second. Do I captain Haaland or Bruno this week? I'm a Man United fan, so it's a head versus heart situation. Play the game that would make you enjoy it the most, but I would go for Haaland personally. I have Cole and Strand Larsen. Should I wait for the window to close? Probably I would. Although I'd be happy selling Cole. I'd maybe hold on Strand Larsen if you can. Who would you say I'll bring in? Wood or João Pedro? Wood's better this week, but I probably marginally prefer Strand Larsen in the longer term. Right, let's do it. Everyone got their guesses in. Any player in the Premier League this can be. I'm going to say Adingra. Don't know why. Base. Core. Rare. Elite. Oh. Midfielder. This could be a good one. Aston Villa. Is that going to be Rodgers again? Okay. In fact, so I've already got Morgan Rodgers, but what that does is it increases his contract for me, which is really nice. Did anyone guess Rodgers? Anyone guess Rodgers? I've not seen any Rodgers guesses. Maybe I've missed it. Did anyone guess Rodgers? No, you can't guess Rodgers now. That's cheating. Yeah, so you see, it's just increased his contract for me. So this is my team at the moment going in. I need to collect my cash, don't I? This is my team at the moment going into Game Week 3. Again, make sure to join my league. I'll just put it up on screen very quickly. 3462SK7. If you do download Club using the link down below, make sure to join with my league. Right. There we go. I think it will be Rodgers. Only a couple of minutes late in the guess. Okay, HRSHV. I've got your team. Play a back four today or sell Palmer. So your back four would be Van der Ven, Tarkowski, Milenkovic, Chuth. I would sell Palmer. I'd sell Palmer. Mr. Unico123 says, I have Palmer. Who's best to swap him out with? It depends how much money you need, who you want. If you've not got a Man United attacker, you could go Bruno. I would probably go for one of Sar, Semenyo, or Kudus. For me, they're my 3 favourite options. Free hit, Sells, Burn, Kukureya, Milenkovic, and Burmo, Barney? Is that Barnes? Barnes, Cunha, Haaland, João Pedro, Wood. Again, a rumour going around that Barnes isn't in the starting 11, so maybe you switch him out for Elanga, but otherwise it's a nice team, yeah. I can't criticise that at all. Palmer to Sarr and Fulkrug to João Pedro or Wood. That seems pretty good. Like I say, that's one of the combinations that I'm looking at myself with my transfers. It's basically the second or third option. And I like it a lot. Ross, terrible start, 7 million in rank. I know this is mad. I've double United, Cunha and Burmo. Who would you captain? I don't think it's mad. People hate Manchester United and people also hate Bruno. So people will say it's mad, but it's a great fixture at home. So I would be fairly happy captaining either of them. I think Bruno has a higher floor. Bruno's less likely to completely blank, but Cunha's got a very high ceiling right now. He's taking so many shots. He's in good position. So I would captain Bruno, but I think Cunha is also a decent shout. Jonathan says, bring 1 5 to 7 million, got none, and 1 forward. One midfielder 5 to 7 million, and 1 forward 7 to 9 million. It's probably Sarr and João Pedro. Bring in 2 this round and 2 for game week 4 to 5. Oh, okay. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe, so if you're bringing in a midfielder between 5 and 7 this week and a midfielder between 5 and 7 next week, and then the same for the forwards. So this week, Kudus and João Pedro. Next week, Sarr and Mateta. If I've answered your question correctly. Kudus and João Pedro, then Sarr and Mateta, if you're bringing in 4 of them. Can you talk about potential chip strategies, please? I just think you should probably look, if you want a free hit in the next few weeks. I think free hit in game week 4 looks good if you've got like triple Forest. Free hit 6 looks good if you don't have many City players, you don't have many Forest players, looks good. So I think free hit 4 or free hit 6 looks good. I think a bench boost in game week 5 for people that have Dubravka and Estev doesn't look bad. And then I think a wild card in game week 13 looks really, really nice. Cancelled said, thanks for the tips. Here is my wild card with free hit 4, bench boost 6/7. Okay. That's a lovely team. So you've gone for a Haaland-only draft. It's allowed you to have a really strong defence, great midfield. You've got 1.3 to 1.8 million in the bank. Okay, I like it a lot. Which one do I... Oh, wait. Is there a... I'm confused by the graphics. Sarr, Rogers, Barnes, or... I'm a bit confused by the... Oh, you're saying Kudus or one of Sarr, Rogers, Barnes. And you're saying Dorgu or Van de Ven. Okay, I would go Van de Ven over Dorgu longer term, but I like Dorgu as a punt, so I don't mind going for him this week. And I think Kudus is fine. Do I prefer Sarr or Kudus? I think it's very, very close, but I think Kudus is good. So, yeah, I'm happy with both your combinations. And, yeah, it's nice to have some money in the bank as well. It's a lovely team cancelled. No major issues with me. Hi, Ross. Start Gabriel or Richards? I would start probably Gabriel, in all honesty. I think both concede, but, yeah. Guiu starts against Brentford. It says who? I'd like him to. If he does, then all of a sudden I probably put him first bench. There would even be a temptation to start him, by the way, if Guiu started. Can you imagine if Guiu starts and scores? Should I put him a little bit higher on my bench, do you think? It's a good question, to be honest. Best back 3 this week, in your opinion? Kukureya, Milenkovic, Livramento or Dorgu, probably. Palmer, Fulkrug, Guiu to Anderson, Wood, João Pedro. I looked at that exact set of transfers, Lewis, but then I had to bench Reinders. So I was basically taking a -4 hit to bench Reinders. So just make sure that you're not doing something similar where you're forcing yourself into benching someone for a hit. Have Palmer, Gordon, Ruter, Salah, Reinders help. Salah's fine. Reinders is fine. So I would just sell 2 of Palmer, Gordon, Ruter and bench the other. Probably sell Palmer and... Oh, I mean, Gordon's enough. Probably sell Palmer and Gordon and keep Ruter because he's cheap. Please, Ross, help. Should I bench Barnes and buy Woods? I would wait to get more information because it's one person that's been super unreliable in the past. So I wouldn't stress too much now. Bench one of Ndiaye, Rogers, Salah, Kudus or Semenyo. You've got to bench one of those. Oh, that's absolute horror. I would bench probably Ndai or Semenyo. Maybe I wouldn't bench Rodgers or Salah. Probably, honestly, Semenyo or Kudus. I'd see which way you think that Bournemouth Spurs game would go, basically. Delap starts? Yeah, I would expect so. Yeah, João Pedro in the 10. It worked way too well against West Ham for him to not probably go with something very similar. You have 30 minutes left, big bro. Yeah. I'm going to make my moves in like 5-10 minutes. Yeah, I'll make my moves in 5 minutes or so. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream, please do drop a like. And we're only 60 subscribers away. I was trying to hit 167,000 on this stream. Only need 60 more people to subscribe. So if you could please subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Was asking if I should triple captain Wood on top 4,000. Oh, okay. I don't hate it. There are definitely worse triple captain opportunities. I wouldn't feel that confident in triple captain Wood, but I don't hate it. I wouldn't put you off of it. I bought in Gyökeres today, which looks stupid before Anfield away, but I really think Liverpool are very prone defensively, and then Forest at home and City at home is not that bad. Yeah, I don't mind buying Gyökeres. I think it is a bit early, off the back of a performance where I actually don't think he was that good. He scored a pen. I think the defending for his first goal was really poor, but he's an Arsenal striker on pens with good minutes, so yeah, I don't mind Gyökeres being brought in. Best midfielder for 7.2 million. I have Semenyo already, as well as Anderson and Reinders. I would say Ismail Assar or Kudus. Ismail Assar or Kudus. I think you can pick whoever you want there. Hi, Ross. Who to bench? Rodgers, Reinders, or Wirtz? I would bench Florian Wirtz. Lauren says, free hitting. Okay. Sells, Pedro Porro, Cucurella, Livramento, Alanga, Cunha, Sarr, Gibbs-White, Haaland, Wood, João Pedro. Do you like it? Any changes? I love it. The only one change I would be tempted by, and I'm very cautious to say this because he does very well against Villa, I don't think I'd have Sarr on a free hit. I think there are better options to choose this week. Like, you could go for another Man United attacker, like in Burmo, I think would be better. Or even take a punt on some fun like Esteval, or go for Ndoye and go double Forest attack. Oh, no, you've already got Wood and Gibbs-White. Yeah, I don't know. Sarr's not bad. It just doesn't inspire me that much on a free hit, I think. AJG says 8 Nuri, Palmer, Gyökeres to Reinildo, Ndai, and Haaland. No, I wouldn't make that move, my friend. I appreciate the support, by the way, but selling Gyökeres and 8 Nuri, I mean, it feels a little bit overly desperate to get Haaland in, unless you just so want Haaland. But I think Gyökeres is a good buy this week. I think 8 Nuri will still be fine. I don't love that. Aaron says, hi, mate, do you think I should buy Johnson or Kudus for a Palmer replacement? If they both got similar minutes, I think Johnson is a better asset than Kudus, right? So if you think Johnson's minutes will continue to be good, I would buy Johnson ahead of Kudus. I'm leaning towards Kudus because I just don't know that. And that's the issue. With Xavi Simons coming in, is there a chance that Johnson doesn't play? Yes. By the way, there's a chance that it's Kudus that drops out. It might be that Johnson is now in favour, but I would worry a little bit, personally. Connor says, I've done Palmer and Guiu to Wood and Sarr. Bench Sarr or KDH? I'd bench KDH and start Sarr. Srikar says, hi Ross, my free hit is Sanchez, Dorgu, Milenkovic, Dango, Cunha, Bruno, Brennan, Haaland, Wood, JP. Is it worth getting in Gakpo or Ekitike? Would love your input. Not on a free hit, no. I think that free hit looks lovely. Oh yeah, Lauren, Dango Ouattara would be a really decent shout in the midfield. Or Brennan Johnson, but Dango Ouattara I really like. I was trying to think who I had in my free hit draft and I couldn't remember. Yeah, it's a really lovely draft, Srikar. Tio says, start Ismail Assar or Dango. Oh, you've got to start Dango if you own him this week. Aman says, I have used my wildcard. Please help. Okay. Dubravka, Estev, Goodmanson, Dorgu, Van der Ven, Porro, Rice, Reinders, Salah, Kudus, Anderson, Pedro, Wood, Haaland. The balance feels a little bit off. You've got 2 4 million defenders. I don't know about Declan Rice right now. I would replace Rice with Sarr if it was me. And I would probably have to downgrade one of your attackers a little bit. Because Dubravka's fine, but Estev, Goodmanson, Dorgu, Van der Ven, Porro feels a little weak. I don't know where all your money... I don't mean this in a mean way. I'm wondering, that doesn't look like a full budget team. I guess it's because you've got Salah and Haaland and Pedro and Wood. It doesn't look like you spent all your money, though. I would basically find a way to get one of Esteve or Goodmanson up to Munoz if you can, basically. It's not an awful wildcard by any means, though. If you want to stick with it, it will do okay for you. The new app is awful. It almost always freezes, crashes, or automatically logs out. It's terrible. The website's not much better, in all honesty. But yeah, the app is even worse. Sorry for sniffling, by the way. I think I'm a bit under the weather. Sticks and the Stones. Give me their team. Says triple captain Salah versus Burnley, bench boost in game week 5. That's a lovely team. Is that a wildcard team? It might be. If it is a wildcard team, I wouldn't have Juve. I think Juve's not a great pick on wildcard. If it's not a wildcard team, you've built a banging team there because it looks fantastic. I can't really criticise too much, but yeah, I wouldn't be going anywhere near Juve with West Ham and how they look. Why not get Even Ilson instead of Pedro / Wood / Mateta? I just think the three that you mentioned other than Even Ilson are probably marginally better right now. Again, on game week 6 free here, it might be that I pick up Even Ilson for Leeds, but I think I prefer the others for now. Only one Maxter says, more context. Have Tarkovsky, Murillo, Dorgu, and Dye, Salah, Rogers, Kudus, okay, have to bench one attacker. Is double Villa bad? The context doesn't even help. You've got such a stacked team there. Can you not bench boost? That looks like a bench boost team to me. Well, what does the rest of your defense and goalkeepers look like? I wouldn't be off unless you've already bench boosted potentially. Again, yeah, you could bench Rodgers. Like, let's say that you want to just diversify a bit, you could bench Rodgers, but I'd probably bench. I think it would be Semenyo or Kudus still, mate. Still Semenyo or Kudus. Edan Lutsky says, great content. I need to bench one. Verts, Gakpo, Ekatike, Murillo, or Nico Williams. Based on what we've seen so far, I'd bench Florian Verts. Jish News says, big fan from India. Love your channel. Need help. Need to change Palmer and Guiu. Who for? I have 3 Liverpool. Should I free hit instead? Thank you very much for the support, Jishnu. I wouldn't free hit. I would just do Palmer to Sarr, Kudus, or Semenyo, and then do Guiu up to João Pedro, Mateta, or Wood. It's the transfers that everyone's doing, but for good reason. Get your transfer options on the wheel. We need to see you grimace when it's not the one you want. No, Frosty. I don't want to do that. To be fair, I know what I want to do, and I think I'm going to do it. And I think I'm going to make the moves in a second. I don't want to risk leaving it too late. Palmer, Guiu out. Kudus, Wood in. Game week 4, Mateta in. Yeah, I like that. No concerns there. If you can afford that, then that's great. Hi, Ross. How about getting Sarr for Bruno in game week 4? Yeah, that's an option. And Cunha / Gakpo for Verts after game week 5. This will let us go Kudus and Mateta / Wood this game week. Yeah, I don't mind that, actually. Yeah, that could be an option that frees up. If Bruno looks really poor again and United aren't at it, then yeah, maybe selling Bruno in game week 4 is the play. Retro Joe's 96 is loving the content, Raptor, as always. Thank you very much. I'm torn between who to captain. It's either Salah or João Pedro. Okay. João Pedro could be a big return. I would lean João Pedro. It is the early kickoff, though. If it goes badly, then you're going to be very disappointed. If it goes well, though, like it did last week, then you get your game week off to a really nice start. Hi, Ross. I agree with you on the importance of taking hits if the fixture is favourable. So Dorgu in for Van der Ven and then triple captain him. No. Not at all. Felix with a super chat, but no message. Sorry, Felix, but thank you. Do you like Porro or Tarkovsky more? Long-term, Porro. This week, I think it's close. Maybe Tarkovsky, but I think Porro long-term. Bench one of Gakpo, Semenyo, and Jai Watkins. Ooh, that's tough. Probably Semenyo. Start Verts or Reinders. I would start Reinders, personally. Edan says, let's go Raptors. Who's the best captain? Gakpo, Ekatike, Reinders, Kudus, Richarlison. None of the above. I don't like any of those for captain. You've surely got some better picks than those for captaincy. If you've not, probably Kudus from those, but I wouldn't captain any of those players, Edam. I'm hoping you've got better captaincy options. Verts or Gakpo? What, to start or to buy? Gakpo probably, I'd say. Time to make your transfers, Ross. I'm going to leave it another like 10 mins and then I'll probably go. Just in case. You never know what info we might get. Hey, Ross, Watkins or Pedro captain? I probably prefer João Pedro captain this week. Price predictions think Sarr may go up tonight/tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's highly possible. Lots of people bringing in Sarr this week. Sell Palmer and Juve. Buy Mbermo and Kukurea. I don't mind that. I mean, I could do something similar. Rather than selling Fulkrug, I could sell Juve, but I just think I need to get rid of Fulkrug. I like the transfers, though. Hi, Ross. Would you bring in Sarr or Rodgers for Palmer? I have Watkins already. I actually really like Rodgers still as a buy this week, even though other people hate it. But I still think Sarr is better than Rodgers, yeah. Did we hit 167,000? We did. Thank you very much. Please do still consider subscribing. Doesn't mean we have to stop now, but thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Is it a bad time to say that I need a Wii? Potentially. Will I hold it for the next 25 minutes? Yes. I'll try. Start Sarr or Lacroix? Sarr. Bench one of Porro, Kukurea or 8 Nuri. Probably Ryan 8 Nuri. Just because there's a chance he either doesn't start or plays fewer than 60 mins, given that he was injured. Bench Dango or Richarlison? Definitely Richarlison. You've got to start Dango. I mean, Richarlison's great this week as well, but if it's out of those. Pavitt says, top replacement for Palmer long term. Same answer as before, Sarr, Kudus or Semenyo. And save the money. Blizzard202 says, hi Raptor, Palmer, Guiu and Wan-Bissaka for Wood, Sarr and Livramento. My defence is the same as yours, but I opted for Van de Ven and Wan-Bissaka instead. I feel like a -4 to bring in Livramento doesn't feel great. I would probably just do the Palmer and Guiu moves and just play your best defender, Blizzard. A -4 for a defender in any week doesn't feel great, especially with Defcon added as well. Why are people saying free hit 6 is better than free hit 4? It depends who you own. If you own Haaland and lots of Forest players, then free hit 4 looks much better. If you own Salah and more Palace players, then free hit 6 looks better. It really depends on the construction of your team. The main reason that people want a free hit in 6 is they don't have Haaland and they want to captain Haaland, and I'm one of those people, right? Super chatting from my sister's baby shower. WTF is wrong with me. Yeah, get back to that as soon as I've answered your super chat. 2 free transfers. Palmer and Guiu to Brennan and Wood. Don't mind that at all. Brennan Johnson long term might be a minute's risk, but for now he's great. Bench Rodgers or Tajani. I'd bench Tajani. And Bruno captain, is he good? I like Bruno Cap. Recommended Ross as the baby name. Let me know if they follow through with that. I like Ross as Ross isn't a bad name, right? It's simple, it's inoffensive, it's only 4 letters. Like it's nice. I don't think it's the best name in the world though. Bruno captain, yeah, good. Bench Tajani and Brennan and Wood's fine. And I hope you're having a good baby shower as well. Hey Ross, bench one of Ekatike, Semenyo, Reinders. Probably Reinders. If Barnes is out, would you take a -4 for Mateta or Wood? Depends on what the rest of your team looks like. But I wouldn't go off the basis of one rumour. I would want confirmation from a very reliable person that Barnes is out. Fulkrug, Palmer, Guiu for Pedro, Wood, King. Don't love the idea of bringing King in as what would be a minimum of a -4 hit. Taking a hit that involves King doesn't feel great. Surely you can... I would potentially just do Fulkrug and Palmer to a better midfielder and one of Pedro or Wood. I'm trying to work out the funds here. Surely you can go for someone better than King. Surely you can go... Yeah, you've got the same sort... Surely you can go for like a 5... You can go for Anderson. If it was Pedro, Wood and Anderson, I like that a lot more. Joe Eastwood says, Captain Bruno or Pedro? Bruno, then Pedro, but I still think João Pedro is a great captain. If you'd prefer to captain João Pedro, I think it's very close. My captaincy ranking is top left of the screen. You can see that Fernandes and João Pedro are next to each other. What do you think about Rodri being back? Play? If he's fit enough to play, he'll play. I don't think it will massively affect anyone in the team, though. If anything, I suppose, gives Tajani Reinders a bit more freedom, but he wasn't playing as a defensive midfielder anyway, so I don't think so. Is Evan-Ilson a good shout? Brought him in for Bowen. Yeah, I really like Evan-Ilson. I've been a big fan of Evan-Ilson for a while now, so yeah, I have no issue with that. Is Richarlison on pens for Spurs? You'd imagine so, yes. You'd imagine so, yes. Is Esteval fine? Yeah. And Bruno or Erling captain free hit? I would captain Erling Haaland, and I think Esteval's a good shout. Only whilst Palmer's injured, though. On a free hit, yes, I wouldn't probably have a transfer for Esteval. My chair's a bit squeaky today. FPL Rohit says, already did Palmer to Sarr. Okay, I like it. Do Reinders to Kuda /Alanga or Guiu to Mateta Wood for a free or roll the other free transfer? On a free hit 6, and I have João Pedro and Watkins already. Loving the content in your approach this season. Thank you very much, my friend. I don't mind Guiu to Mateta Wood, but only if that doesn't mean that you end up benching Reinders. If you're going to bench Reinders for it, maybe I'll just leave it. And on that note, no, I would not sell Reinders to Kudus or Elanga. I think Reinders is great value for his price. Bruno for Palmer. Yeah, I don't mind it. Or go Sarr and Wood and bench Verts. If you're going to captain Bruno, go for Bruno. If you wouldn't captain Bruno anyway, and you think Wood's a fine captain, maybe go for Sarr and Wood. I think as a combination, Sarr and Wood is probably the slightly better option there. Hi Ross. Hello Mr. Unknown. 2 free transfers and wildcarding next game week. Marmoush and Fulkrug out for Thiago and Elanga. Okay, 2 free transfers and wildcarding next game week. Marmoush and Fulkrug out for Thiago and Elanga. If you're wildcarding next week, using both your free transfers before your wildcard. I don't love it, but they're both fantastic options for this week. So yeah, do you know what? I can get behind it. If there is a way that you can get away with not using both your frees before a wildcard, because remember, you can carry transfers through a wildcard now. It will just leave you in a stronger position. Thoughts on Ndoye captain? I don't know about that one. I do think he's a good player to bring in. To be fair, he's not a bad captain, no. Yeah, fair enough if you don't want to go for a Man United player. Hey, mate. Okay, Joseph, I've got your team. Really want Elanga but can't fit him in. Is this a free hit, I assume? Yeah, this looks like a free hit. It would be instead of Johnson, wouldn't it, really, or Gibbs-White? I would go for Elanga over probably Johnson, but I can understand again with Johnson's form why people want him in the team. Liam Brown says Palmer, Guiu, Juve for Sarr, Wood, Livramento to then bench boost with Dubravka, Salah, Gabriel, and Reinildo. Salah and Gabriel on your bench boost. Dubravka, Reinildo. It's not great. Yeah, I've seen better, but it's also not horrible. Maybe. You're taking a hit, though. That I don't mind the hit. Yeah, maybe just go for it. Screw it. Why not? Why not go for it? Chris, his thoughts on Elanga over Semenyo? Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Palmer, yeah, I like Elanga. Elanga's a good shout. Abdul Gadir says, keeping Palmer. Okay, I've got your team. Do I roll and have 3 free transfers? So you've got a good defence, great defence, in fact. Really solid midfield, great front. So yeah, that's a roll. I would roll Abdul Gadir. That's a really nice team. Hi, Ross. What would your midfield and attack be on free hit this week? I have Bruno and Burmo, Cunha, Dango, Haaland, João Pedro and Wood. Any changes? I think that's perfectly fine. I would consider Gibbs-White. I would consider Elanga. I would consider Ndoye. Those are the main ones, probably. Don't forget your transfers. Thank you, Mr. Frosty. Yeah, I need to keep an eye on the time. Taylor says, start Romero or 8 Nuri. Cheers. I'd be tempted by Romero, honestly. Maybe Romero. Daniel Maguire says, hey, Ross, thoughts on my free hit 3 team? Ooh, I like it. I'd be tempted by Milenkovic just because he's better in the air than Murillo, but I like Murillo. And Ndoye's great. Cunha, Elanga. It's a great team. Yeah, I can't criticise that too much. Yeah, in fact, I can't criticise that at all. It's really nice. Again, I'd be tempted by Milenkovic. I'd look at Livramento, but these are just very small things. Cole Palmer and Saka to Kudus and Gibbs-White. Captain Salah or João Pedro. No Wood or Bruno. I would captain João Pedro, and yeah, I like those transfers. Shirky is out. Is he? Says who? Can you send me a name? And then I can look and help people with that if they have it. Ross, what about Richarlison? I think Richarlison's fine. Yeah, I've got no issue with Richarlison at all. Just think his minutes are a little bit less secure than I would want in the long term. City Extra. Okay, I trust City Extra. Let me have a quick look. And then I need to make my transfers, by the way. Has this guy said anything else? Said Fabian Schär starts. City Extra. Oh, there we go. So if you've got Shirky, you can sell him. He's got a thigh injury. FPL servers down in 5 mins. They're going to be down, yeah. To be fair, I should probably make my transfers now, shouldn't I? Take a hit for Guiu to Wood Mateta this week. Assuming you need to start Guiu, then yeah. But if you take the hit, who are you benching instead? Like, if you're taking that hit to bench Reinders, then probably not. Scuba Steve says, hey Ross, here's a laugh for you. For some stupid reason, I went early on Palmer to Gordon. Oh, God, that's pain. Anyway, Bruno or Pedro for the armband. I would go Bruno just, but I think it's very close. And I'm very sorry, mate. Like, sometimes early moves work out and sometimes they don't. That's the risk, I suppose. Hi, Reps. I hope you're doing well. Sal Papasar for Barnes Cunha to bench Gyökeres or roll and play Gyökeres. I would roll and play Gyökeres, but I wouldn't be bringing in Barnes just based on the fact that there is a rumour that he's not in the starting 11. Palmer and Guiu to Bruno and Richarlison, or to Cunha and Burma and Pedro. I think probably Cunha and Pedro is a slightly better combo. Cunha and Pedro. Is Strand Larsen not playing? Not sure, actually. Not sure. Plan is to do Palmer to Kudus, Guiu to Captain Wood, or -4 sell Ruta to Sart and bench Vert/Reinders. You've got the exact money and you think you want Sar next week, maybe you take the -4 in that case, because it's exact money. Reese says, good morning. Verts on the bench, him or Reinders? Morning, Verts on bench, him or Reinders? I would bench Verts ahead of Reinders. And yeah, your team actually looks very nice, Reese. That's a super nice team. I think you'll probably do well this week. Victor says, hi, Ross. I think you missed my first super chat. Sorry, mate. Regarding captaincy, I have one more for you. Bench Reinders or Anderson? Best of luck. Oh, I would bench Reinders and start Anderson. Let me look for your first super chat. How did I miss it? Where is it? I don't see another one, mate. Just scrolled the whole way up. I can't see one. Sorry. Captaincy, though, again, to save people sending money if they don't want to, like there's a captaincy ranking that goes on the top left of the screen. So if you want to know my captaincy ranking, that's it. Palmer and Guiu to Bruno and Richarlison. I did that one, didn't I? Yeah, Cunha and Pedro. Right. I need to make my transfers. Esteve, Anderson, Juve. Which one to start? None of them. But if you have to start one, it doesn't matter. Wait, what? That's a bit suspect. What is that about? Surely not. Alanga also. Is this guy just trolling? I wonder if he's just trolling. So he's Barnes and Alanga. I think he might be trolling. I mean, he might also not be. It could be like Ramsey and Murphy as the wingers, but he is a wind-up. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd be buying this too much. If he's trolling, then obviously he gets blocked so quickly. I've actually muted him, look, because he's been wrong in the past. And he was annoying me, but I didn't want to fully block because he's also been right a few times. Harry says it's fake news. Okay, cool. Should we block him? I'll wait, but I'll probably block him. Okay, I would leave it then. I would leave it. Yeah, I wouldn't move off that at all. He is unreliable, but like I say, he's also been reliable a couple of times. Right, how long have I got till the deadline? 12 minutes. I need to make my moves. Right, transfers. I'll get back to answering your questions in a second, guys. I hope it's fake. I just bought Alanga. Yeah, I would say it's probably fake, in all honesty. He just probably wants some attention. I think I'm going to go for this combo. Let's have some fun. Let's do a little bit of something different, you know? These moves still give me 2.2 million. So next week I could do Fernandes to Palmer if I want Palmer back. I could do Juve to Munoz. I could do Guiu to Strand Larsen if he stays. Like, I have lots of options to make my moves. Why do you keep your moves till the end? Because anything can happen. Like, we could get news all of a sudden that X player's not with the team or is injured or something. You know, I'm going to give it a second. Terrible choice. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Wildcard thoughts. Okay, I've got your wildcard team, B. Hendry. 7.8 million rank. I thought it was 7.8 million in the bank. I like Trufair. Like the defense overall. Van der Ven, Dorgu, Munoz looks good. Really solid midfield. Yeah. I don't have any major issues with that teammate. That looks nice to me. I don't know about Strand Larson. I don't know if I'd have Strand Larson on a wildcard just in case. Like, you just don't know what's happening with him. I think I'd try and squeeze Mateta in there into the Strand Larson and then rejig the funds a bit, but overall it's good. Bench Tossin or Agbadu? I'd probably start Tossin. Chelsea are just the better defence. Bench one of Sarr, Evanilson, Reinders. Probably Reinders, Harry. Mohar says Palmer to Sarr / Anderson and Guiu to Wood / Mateta / Gyökeres. Which pair do you prefer? I think probably Palmer to Sarr and then Guiu to Wood or Mateta is probably the combo I slightly prefer. Start Reinders or Semenyo. Good luck, Ross. I would start Semenyo, and thank you very much, you two. Which three? Porro, Murillo, Esteve, Anderson, Juve. Porro, Murillo, and Anderson. Just because he's better for DEFCON. So there are rumours going around from one account that Barnes and Alanga don't start, but I think they're trolling, and already they've had a couple of Newcastle people called them out. So I think they're just attention-seeking. They're going to get the biggest block of all time by most of the FPL community if they are, so... Yeah, I don't believe that I mean, it could be right, so I'm not saying completely disregard it, but I wouldn't pay much attention to it. That would be insane to just take both of them out. Also, there is news that Ryan Shirky misses out. Is the other bit of news. Ryan Shirky misses out with a thigh injury. After the news, would you keep Alanga in your free hit? I would. I would just make sure that you've got a much stronger first sub in case he is out for some reason. But I wouldn't let one random guy on Twitter just put you off a great asset. Right, shall I make my moves? Because I've only got 8 minutes. I'm just going to go for it. Screw it. Done. It's just a bit different. It's a bit of fun. It's only a game. You need to get lucky anyway. Maybe we will get lucky on this occasion. Who do I want to vice captain? That's the question. I think I will keep it on Mohamed Salah. Because I trust him. You know, I trust him to do something. I'll just screenshot my team and then we'll get back to answering your questions. Did Watkins drop in price last night? Yeah, Watkins and Palmer both dropped last night. A bit annoying. Boom. Boom. The team doesn't look as good for this week, I'll admit. Like, if I'd have gone for like Anderson and Chris Wood or something, it would look great. But next week, Kudus has playing against his own team, his old team, I should say, against West Ham, and Mateta's got Sunderland. So as much as my team doesn't look as good this week with Kudus against Bournemouth at home and Mateta against Villa away, I think next week it's going to look a lot stronger. Yeah, that's my team. I'm done. Actually, bench order. Chat, what do you think about my bench order? Have I got that bench order right? I've not really thought about it too much. Start Dorgu or Livramento. Good luck. I assume you're on a free hit if you're making that decision. I would probably start Livramento. Man United are terrible. Oh, some lovely comments in the chat about my team. I appreciate it. Guiu first sub. Bench order looks right to me. Esteve first sub. I feel like if I'm captaining Fernandez, I shouldn't really. Maybe it is Guiu, just in case he starts. Yeah, maybe it is Guiu, because like Juve and Esteve, they're going to concede. I'm certain of it. So they might get DEFCON or they might get an attacking return, but surely Guiu's got as much chance of that. I'm going to go with that bench order, actually. Yeah, they're probably all going to get 1 point, as you say. I'm going to go with that bench order there. I need a new screenshot of my team. The app is so bad. Like, I would say it's the worst app I've ever had on my phone. It's the FPL app. It's laggy. It freezes. Like people say, it randomly logs you out of nowhere. It's just a terrible app. Mateta gets a brace. I would be beyond happy. Mateta gets an assist. I'll take it, really. Because I'm not really... Like, I'm moving a bit early on Mateta. I probably should have gone João Pedro or Wood if I was looking at this week, but... If Mateta and Kudus can do really well, I'll be very happy. How long you got till the deadline? You've got 6 minutes till the deadline. I would get your team locked in. The app and the website keep getting really crashy and laggy, so I wouldn't risk it too much. Why Kudus? Kudus is just a player for me that, like, I'm happy starting every week. Like, if you look at these fixtures, you just start Kudus really happily until game week 9. Like, none of those are bad fixtures. And his minutes look pretty good. And he's taking some set pieces. So I don't think Kudus is a game breaker. I don't think he's the standout option. But what he is just a good player to just put in and just allow me to focus on. Like, I might need to take out Bruno and Florian Wirtz. I might want to go out there and upgrade my defense. I don't need to put in a player that could potentially become an issue for me. I think Sarr and Semenyo are both great as well, though. Would you start Reinders over Wirtz? Probably, yeah. Probably. Am I being delusional if I put Guiu ahead of Wirtz on the bench? Yeah. Yeah. Captain Watkins or Richarlison? I'd say Watkins out of those two. Grealish or Ndiaye? I'd probably go Ndiaye still just because he's on pens. You missed my super chat. Sorry. Van Dijk or Richards to start? I'd probably go... I'd go Van Dijk, to be honest. Palmer, Guiu out for Kudus, Thiago as differentials. Captaincy on Sarr or Wood. I wouldn't captain Sarr. So captain Wood, I would start Van Dijk. And yeah, I don't mind those transfers at all. Warmary Gaming says, would you move Guiu now if you're not too keen playing his replacement ahead of Reinders this week? So you're saying if you sell Guiu, you have to play them ahead of Reinders. That was my issue. Like, I could go and sell Guiu as well, but then I was just benching Reinders, so I probably wouldn't make the move. Dorgu or Kudus first sub? Kudus is much better than Dorgu this week. Wirtz Bruno to Salah Kudus or Salah Mateta next game week? I don't know how you'd get Salah and Mateta for Wirtz and Bruno. I would keep Wirtz. I'll let you work. I don't really understand the question, but it's too close to the deadline to try and ask. Bench Wirtz or Sarr? I'd start Sarr and bench Wirtz. Van de Ven or Tarkowski? Tarkowski. Bench one of Reinders, Semenyo, Anderson or Wirtz? Florian Wirtz. Vice captain Salah. Yeah, Salah or Watkins. I think I'm just going to leave it on Salah. I always trust Salah. I hopefully won't need my vice captain in all fairness. You never know, I suppose, but hopefully not. Mateta or Wood? I think this week Mateta's better. I think if you're on free hit 6, I think Mateta is better than Wood. If you're not on free hit 6, then maybe Chris Wood. Just under 3 minutes until the deadline. Make sure you get your teams locked in. Just under 3 minutes until the deadline. Sarr or Rodgers? To start this week, Rodgers, if you're going to buy one, Sarr. I can't find De Bruyne and the deadline's in 5 minutes. Help. De Bruyne is somewhere in southern Italy. somewhere roaming around in southern Italy. Hi, Ross. I haven't messaged for a while. Hope all is well. All is well with me, thank you, my friend. Hope all is well with you. Dorgu or Van de Ven? As a buy to start? As a player to buy, probably Van de Ven. As a player to start this week, Dorgu. Pedro, Haaland and Wood up front need some goals. That is a really nice front three. I'm very jealous. Very jealous. Reinders or Wirtz, Ross? I would bench Florian Wirtz and start Tijani Reinders. Any Chelsea team news? Apparently, there are suggestions that Delap starts, so it's probably going to be João Pedro in the 10. I've not seen anything else on Chelsea, though. Can't see anything else. Bench Gyökeres and Wirtz for Papasar and Sarr. I would probably, out of those 4 options, I would start Gyökeres, Wirtz and Ismail Sarr, and I'd probably bench Papasar. So many people are asking whether I would bench Sarr or Reinders, and I've answered that question loads. I don't know if people aren't listening or not. I would bench Reinders and start Sarr out of those 2 options. And I would start Rodgers ahead of Reinders. So I would start Rodgers and Sarr ahead of Reinders is the answer to your question. Less than a minute till the deadline. Get your teams locked in. Get your teams locked in. Rodgers or Mateta? Jean-Philippe. Ross, do you have Dorgu? Let's not start that. Let's not start that again, eh? Salah vice captain. Frosty, I've answered that one. I think he's reliable. I'm not going to need my vice captain unless Bruno misses out. If Bruno misses out, I've got a whole host of issues because that means Guiu's coming on. Right, you've got less than 20 seconds till the deadline. Get your teams locked in. I need to make sure that my teams are all actually locked in. Have I got it as I'm happy with? Bruno cap, Salah vice, Mateta Kudus in the 11. Happy with that bench order. Yeah, good. I'm done. Lock. We are done. We are locked in. Done. Locked. Let me tweak my team. I'm then going to go for a wee, and then we can crack on with answering some more of your questions. You're a very polite guy. I actually am in real life. Sometimes I look like I'm not polite on stream because it's quite stressful. How confident are you feeling? I think I'm going to do terribly this week. My team next week looks great. My team next week looks fantastic. My team this week looks pretty rubbish, I'll be honest, in comparison to a lot of other people. Like, having no João Pedro and no Chris Wood feels terrible. And I feel like Ismail Assar is going to absolutely just smash it. So, yeah, I'm a little bit worried. I kind of went against what other people were doing. Palmer to Kudus. And then, what was I going to do? What did I do? What move did I do? Full crook. Sorry, guys, just watching me tweet. I normally prepare my tweets, but because I didn't know what moves I was making, I couldn't actually prepare my tweet this time. So I'm just having to type it out. What is the hype about Sarr? I don't get it. I think he's just very good. Like, he puts up good data. He's playing for a team where he's usually involved in the goals. But yeah, I don't think he's like, you had to bring him in, which is why I didn't, right? But I do think he was probably in isolation, if you look at price as well, probably the best replacement for Palmer. I just liked Mateta as well. Right, what am I doing? Chat, you're watching ADHD. If you want to watch what ADHD looks like, you're watching it right now. I just zoned out completely there because my brain was too overwhelmed with what was happening. Oh god, where's the emoji I want? There it is. And then how much do I have in the bank? Does anyone remember? Was it 2.2? I think it was 2.2 million in the bank. Practice 3 is on right now. Very nice. Voltemada is announced. Is Voltemada? Voltemada, I think that's how you pronounce it. Voltemada. 2.2. It was 2.2. Game week 3 team. Bruno cap. 7.3 mil. 2.2 million in the bank. Palmer to Kudus. Full crook to Mateta. Is that done? God, I got there in the end. Just need to post that on Blue Sky. Then I need to go for a wee, and then I will be back to answer your questions. Sorry for being a terrible streamer. I can only apologise. Right. Where's Blue Sky? Bro, don't own wood. Yeah, I know. Why did that not work? Paste. Copy. Paste. Done. Goodness, that took so long. Sells or Sanchez for free hit. The deadline's gone, sadly. I would have said Sells, but I think they're both fine. Right, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go for a wee. I'll be, let's say, 90 seconds. Maybe even shorter than that. See you in a sec. Ross, we can hear you. Did you hear my massive poo? I didn't actually. I was doing a wee. So there. Luckily, my toilet is just there, my bathroom, so I don't have to walk too far. It's not like plop plop. It's not like I live in a massive mansion. Right. What I've done, which I don't usually do, is I've just got some gems on club. I'm just going to do loads of meats. All right. So all I need to do then is lock my phone. Actually, I want to put it on D&D. Connect. Oh. Connor has become a Raptier Elite member. Thank you very much, my friend. What a legend. Appreciate you, Connor. Would you ever come to Australia and do an FPL tour? I would be tempted. I'm a bit scared of spiders. We spoke about this before. That'll be the only thing that puts me off. Right. I've just got 1,000 gems. So let's just do loads of meats with Manny. Feel free to guess who you think I'm going to get. So what do I need? I don't really need anyone. Here's the thing. But I could definitely upgrade a few areas, right? So, who's the loan options, actually? Don't want any of them. Nah. Dan Burns not bad, actually, this week. Right. Are we ready? Option 1. Or player 1. Just going to meet with a few. Feel free to have a guess who we're going to get. And I'll be answering your questions at the same time. Just playing club. There is a link down below, by the way, if you want to check club out. We're going to get rare off the bat. Rare forward. Chelsea. Is that going to be another João Pedro? No. Delap. Oh, Delap starts. I could sign Delap and start Delap. I don't need Delap, though. My forward line's pretty stacked. I like my forward line. I've got Mbermo on loan, and then I've got João Pedro and Ndiaye. I've even got Ollie Watkins on the bench. I can't bench Ollie Watkins, can I? The thing is, because I've not got Ndiaye or Pedro, or I like sort of hedging my bets. I like hedging my bets, so... Right. Let's go again. Tap to reveal. We'll go again. Just realised club is not available in my country. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Got another rare forward. Newcastle. Alanga. Ooh. do I sign a Langer? I might sign a Langer and then sell, because I'm going to go over my salary cap. Is club pay to win? Not really, because here's the thing. You can buy gems and open meet with Manny with gems, but if Dorgu did really well, he's really cheap and lowly rated, so I don't think so. You can pay, and it will help you get a better team, but there's no guarantee, like, if Salah and Haaland that would do really well that you've spent oil on, so. Bro sold his soul. I'm in the game and I'm a shareholder in the company. I most certainly have not sold my soul. You make it sound like I'm promoting like Bet365 or something, or an alcohol company. It's a free-to-play fantasy football game that I'm a shareholder with him and a character within the game. You can relax. It's all good. Anyway, do I want to keep a Langer? I'm going to sign a Langer, I think. All right, Alex, you're getting muted. Bang. Buy it. Have you seen Krillin's team this week? Didn't he buy Tielemans and Gyökeres? Oh my god, Noah's getting hidden as well. Anyone else? Don't forget to hashtag ad. The stream is marked as a paid promotion, as always. Everyone's a bit upset today, aren't they? Do we all want to relax a bit, just slightly? We'll do one more meet with Manny then. Right, I'm going to release. I'll get rid of Endaya then. Why not? And then that means I can play a Langer. Okay. Right, one more. One more and then we're done. Is Mbemo a good captain? Well, it's a bit late, but yeah. Ross, I have a club question. Sarr or Semenyo? I think either of them. I'm getting another rare forward. Wolves. Is it going to be Strand Larsen? That's not great, is it? Okay, I'm just going to reject Strand Larsen. He could end up being good, but not this week. Right, that's my team anyway, going into Game Week 3. For those of you that aren't very, very upset and angry for no reason, then feel free to check it out with the link down below. And also make sure to join my league. Final time, my league is... where's my code? 3462SK7. Does the copy work like that? I only check my phone now to see if Manny wants to meet. Hello, Yelena. Good to see you. I'll be honest. I hate mobile games. Like, I'm a mobile game hater. I don't own it. I don't have any games on my phone. I'm like a sad old man, like Scrooge. But club's different, you know? Anyway, enough of that. I think I misclicked my captain. Might retire from FPL. It might work out for you. Sometimes you just get lucky. You never know. What level stadium do you have? Basically level 8. In a day, it will be level 8. I'm level 7 right now, but soon it'll be level 8. I feel like hating mobile games is a pretty popular opinion. Oh, fair. I didn't know. I thought a lot of people just... I always see people sat there playing like Clash Royale and like different like Candy Crush. Like so many people I see they're playing games on their phone, but I'm not. It's not me. Don't love that. Ross, does club have deadlines? If so, how do they work? Yes. The deadline is... I think it's at the first kickoff. Yeah, so it's in an hour. So it's 15 minutes before the first game. Club can be optimized for free to play. I've had a lot of fun over the last week. It's a bit of a grind, but doesn't need money to have fun. I'm glad you think so now, Frosty. I appreciate that. Club is available outside the UK, but not in every country. There are certain countries that it's not. What are you and Pickle up to today? Probably just sitting there beefing over the football because she bought João Pedro and I don't have him. That's probably the plan as things stand. I need to eat some food in a minute, though. Stabbing. Is it too late to play club? No, it's weekly head-to-head. So you can download club whenever you want. It's not a season-long game in terms of total points. You build up your club across the season, but it's week-to-week fantasy football. So no. That's why Pickle is elite. All right, mute Yelena. Remove as moderator. Don't forget the Will picked João Pedro 3 times in a row. The Will did do that, yes. That is a thing that happened. What are you eating today, Ross? Probably chicken and pasta. Chicken and pasta. Where do I join your league from, Egg? What my FPL league is above me. It's the best code ever. It's six Thug V. 6 Thug V. If you're talking about my club league, then it's in the description. Yo, Ross, did the VR study with you a couple of weeks ago. Still waiting on that screenshot. The screenshot? What did I say I would send to you? I can't remember what I said I would send to you. Is that bad? Is my memory that bad? Got to go into town, so I might get some cheeky, spicy McNuggets. Let me know what the spicy McNuggets are like, Frosty. I've never actually tried them. No, the club league. Oh, it's this. That's the club league in the chat. Can you pin the club league code in the chat? Yeah, there you go. Let me do it. There you go. For anyone that wants to join. I think people are probably sick and tired of hearing about it now, but if you want to join, there it is. Right. They're great. Almost taste like batteries made with Tabasco. Interesting. I bench boosted double Burnley defense. That is full disrespect, Timbo Slice. Full disrespect. I hope you are very wrong. I hope Man United score 12, and I hope Bruno scores all of them. Chalas is playing it every day, currently level 6. Very nice. Teams are out. Oh, yeah, of course. Who's playing? Wait, who's the alley? It's not Newcastle. Why do I think it was Newcastle? It's because we was getting all the news about, like, Alanga and stuff. Why are clubs so bad these days at actually posting their teams? Okay, Chelsea's isn't apparently. What? Why couldn't I see Chelsea's team then? King starts again. Anderson starts. Raul Jimenez on the bench. Harry Wilson on the bench. Chelsea is out. I couldn't see it. Am I missing it? What is going on here? Oh, there we go. 26 seconds. No, they were late. Yeah, it's the exact team you'd predict. What is that weird ass? What is wrong with people that design graphics? Like, what am I looking at there? What is that? They've actually tweeted that. Have they? No, they've not, because the lap's right at the end. I don't even know what I'm looking at there. No idea. It's just terrible. It's almost as bad as Manchester United's. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of that at all. What is this? At least it isn't in numerical order. It's worse though. What is Delap doing here? I thought at first they were like goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, forwards. So Cucurella is not a defender then for them. He's playing left back. Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at. A 3-3-4. Well, that's the form. They're going for that. So what you're telling me is Delap is playing on the wide left. Delap's playing wide left wing. Thank you very much, Dr. Greek FPL. Yeah. Drop me an email and we'll chat about that. Esteval getting a start is interesting. I thought he would though. Didn't he start against when Palmer was out last week as well? It's just a state. Like the Man United graphics are horror. I don't know if you've seen them. The Man United graphic where they tweeted it in order of like how long the names were. Where was it? It was against Arsenal. Where was the graphic for the Arsenal game? Oh, they don't tweet it as a graphic, do they? They tweet it as a link. When do you think FPL will unlock again? I reckon it's normally about 40 minutes. So you've got a bit of time. I would say probably 15 minutes it'll open again. I want to show you how bad this graphic was. It's genuinely horrendous. To this one. That one was awful. Right, what is that? What am I even looking at? Can barely see the names. It's in some sort of grid formation. Then they changed it. Where was the one after that then? Where it was the length of the names were how they sorted the graphic out. This. What on earth is that? Wait, it wasn't the length. What was the one where it was the length? This was numerical order. I can't remember. Maybe it was in pre-season. It's a state. Anyway, I don't know why teams can't just make nice graphics. Horror. Are people being nice about my team? People are being nice. Look at this. United's fixtures are out. Who's Man United playing, Ross? Wait, what? Grimsby was the length one. Oh, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember. It was. I mean, I probably tweeted about it, in all fairness. I tweeted about the Grimsby lineup, didn't I? Or did I not? I don't think I did, actually. I don't even know. I'm going mad at this stage. There's just been so many horror graphics from Manchester United. Oh, this was it. What on earth is that? That is hands down the worst team graphic I have ever seen. It was for the Fulham game. They must have changed it then. Yeah, it was for the Fulham game. What on God's green earth is that? Why is Fernando... They've done it in order of how long the players' names are. Gross. Oh, UCL fixtures are out. Okay, it's a joke. That's a fan-made one. Oh, was it? Oh, I thought it was from the Man United account. Oh, okay. Anyway, not much better than the actual... not much... The real ones aren't much better, to be fair. Thank you, Shazam. I appreciate it. Right. I think that's it. I think we're done. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. I think I'm going to try and get a video out tomorrow morning, but I'm not available all day tomorrow, so I can't really record a video on Sunday evening, then it's the international break. So I might put a video out on... Sunday morning as an option. Otherwise, there might be one like early next week sometime. But otherwise, I'm gonna have a bit of a relax, a bit of time off over the international break. Try and focus on my PhD. Not make videos for a few days would be nice. But yeah, thank you for all the support recently. You've been absolutely wonderful. And yeah, I will catch you all extremely soon. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the break, and see you soon.